As I was distracted, per usual, let me do that while the stream is starting up, since I still have 2 minutes of pre-show for a second just to do this. I also want to mention to you guys, D&D Beyond is having a little bit of a lag issue, so there is a chance that it may be a little slow for you all. Just as a heads up. I know I had to load something earlier and it took me about half an hour to get something up.
My page just loaded up instantly.
You know what, Cameron? Go fuck yourself.
Maybe later.
Suddenly, that pestilence dragon comes back and eats Freya.
Please no.
That dragon goes on a journey of self-discovery when it finds out that it's eaten something that's worse than it.
That's true, but that's 90% of your character. So, last time we left off with Rejected Potential. The party had managed to narrowly escape a major battle. Again, seeming that they have realized that it is better to avoid large battles than to get involved in them. The party had decided to instead head over, after getting some advice from Toutler, to gain an ancient sword, supposedly of a god-killing standard. Also finding out that Kips, the chosen protagonist of this entire story, without realizing it, has been carrying one of the most dangerous weapons in the entirety of the world. The party headed over to the new territories in what was in Crimea, to the Dwarven lands, also known as the Vadan, the original dwarves, as they were once called. Heading to an old stronghold called Oventium, they now stand outside outside the stronghold, having heard a loud. I meant to do large and loud at one time. Loud roar off in the distance, and finding many bodies all around them, they found there was an ancient danger inside the stronghold. The party decided at that point that Anton would go ahead and create his ghostly mansion, and inviting the party in for a quick rest, a long rest throughout the night. The party got some relaxation. However, before we start up, I will mention, as we go into one of the side characters, who is not at all one of the protagonists, as Tikva had started to lay down and fall asleep, the DM pulls up the original message
from the PMs. Yes.
I forgot to do. As Tikva is resting in her room, she begins to hear a voice in her dream. As the entirety of the dream goes dark and blackened, a silver raven appears suddenly in the darkness. It just suddenly stops on what looks to be an invisible post and begins to speak. And since the DM can't do feminine voices and is not stoned, Tikva, my dearest cousin, I need your help. I have only mere moments, but I have managed to hide. He has plans, but he cannot find you. He fears the sword of Saphira. You must find it. It may be your only chance, before Cyrus does something we will all regret. And just like that, the raven vanishes into the darkness, as you see a dark hand envelop it. At that point, Tikva awakens, along with the rest of the party. Of course, Tikva in a cold sweat, as the feeling of a strong magical presence all around her dissipates rather quickly. The party awakens, having gotten their long rest in. God damn it.
My characters never get proper sleep. What are you talking about?
No, Todd's fucking name, motherfucker. That brings back a lot of old memories, goddammit. War never changes, so true. We need Desmond Moss in this whole thing. As the party awakens, having gotten their long rest, feel free to top your characters off if you need to. You all find yourselves currently gathered in the staging room, or in one of the main rooms, where invisible servants have started bringing out food for you all to get a early meal in, something heartier to waken you guys up. You find that it is what you assume is mid-morning, as the clocks would show on the wall. However, I will say that down here in the deep dark caverns of the Dwarven lands, it is impossible to find out what time it is. God damn it! Fucking God, no.
Can we go to the do stuff now and just forget the gifts. Okay. Can I go first, DM?
I don't care. You're not an initiative.
Sure.
All right. So Tikva, having taken longer to get ready and head downstairs this morning, immediately surveys the room, locks her eyes onto Anton, and like heads right over. And she says, "I need to talk to you a moment alone, if you don't mind. I know we're
Sure.
heading out to a big battle, but this is rather urgent."
Yeah. Lead the way.
She looks at him kind of deadpan, like, "I don't know this place like you do."
Oh, sorry. And he starts walking over to the side and there's like a side
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, she like lightly huffs, kind of amused, and then just like follows after her.
Okay.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, it's just so funny.
All right. As you guys head out, Kips, Kurgan, and Freya. Fuck's sake, Chaston. I'm so tired of your fucking name because I mix up your two fucking
Hey.
dwarves. There. I'm just saving it to that for right now.
Too many dwarves.
All wars.
Alright, yes, Kurgan, Freya, and Kips, as you lot find yourselves alone in this dining hall as invisible servants continue to bring out food, as well as freshly squeezed fruit juice. Is there anything you three would like to do or converse about?
I am going to wait until everyone's back to talk about the message I got last night.
Alright.
Oh boy.
Freya?
I mean, it's good news, so, and bad news at the
Can
time.
be eating a bit, just enough to make sure she isn't hungry for what's coming,
Okay.
and polishing Northrend as carefully as possible, and still trying to converse with it
Okay.
as best as she can.
How is Freya gonna try and converse with this?
Whispering words of encouragement to a blade.
What kind of words are you whispering to it?
It's okay if you don't want to talk now, just eventually. You gotta open up sometime. Come on.
Therapy session.
Suddenly you hear, "The fuck do you want?" Everyone in the room hears this as a very angry voice just suddenly seems to echo through the halls.
Freya's gonna look at the sword and be like, "Was that you?"
Motherfucker, leave me alone!
I
I'm
cannot.
I'm gonna
You-
look at the blade and just, oh, what a masterful blade. Quite interesting.
Kill the dwarf. Kill the dwarf first.
I'm willing to, but you gotta give me a better reason than just to kill him.
He annoys me.
That's a very good reason, and I'm still tempted to do it, but he's kind of useful, and I'm pretty sure the leader would get mad at me right now.
I'm going back to the silent treatment, and suddenly you just hear a huff,
No, stop.
and it goes quiet.
Son of a bitch! Fergan, get over here, I have to stab you.
And you can try.
Come on, it'll please the sword that you just complimented. It'd be great.
If you want to stab me, I will stab back.
I can stab you from a distance.
I can do the same.
It seems we are at an impasse. Kips, can I stab you to please the sword?
Why would it want you to stab?
Why do we want to please the sword so badly?
The sword seems
Leave
like
me
a
alone!
douche.
It's the one thing she has, damn it!
The sword seems like a douche, I'm gonna be honest.
Kill the fucking dwarf.
I'm not saying that in character, hey.
The sword still
Sword
repeats
reads your mind.
itself.
We'll be killing lots of dwarves very soon.
I don't like you.
You don't have to. You cost me one of my own scales.
Good. I like that. Now let me speak to your manager.
Sorry,
No.
Karen. I am.
The sword huffs and goes back to being quiet.
Oh, I was gonna speak up. His manager stepped away. She'll be back shortly.
Wait. Freya
Yeah,
stands
is
up and
it-
turns around looking at the sword. I'm here, what do you need?
Suddenly you feel the...
Does she really manage herself though?
Poorly,
I don't
but
feel like
she
she does well. Mm.
No, Tick was your manager.
Kips, you've just come back to suddenly hearing Freya talking to a sword that sounds like a Karen.
Hello, Karen.
And they mentioned stabbing you, so.
Wait a second.
Ray asked if it would be okay to stab you to please the sword.
I'm not into that.
Well, you're into dissecting everything else. Do you have anything I could stab? Preferably a dwarf, because that's what it seems to want to stab.
Jim, do I have any dwarf corpses?
You do not.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
But aren't there dwarf corpses all around us, though?
Yeah, outside of the mansion, but it means you'd have to leave the mansion.
We'll stab dwarf corpses. We'll stab some dwarves once we step outside the mansion, okay? Sword. Okay.
Fine.
They may be corpses, but you can still stab them. I'm pretty sure there's still some blood in them.
Next, he's gonna start mansplaining to me as it goes quiet again.
I don't like the sword. I don't like the sword.
And then manspreading.
Alright. As Freya, Kips, and Kurgan discuss the sword's attitude, Anton
Very
and
important.
Tippa, you find yourselves in one of the side rooms.
Yes, to the side plot now.
Yeah, indeed.
Tikva looks at Anton, very serious. You know, her usual expression, but a bit more dire. And
Right.
she speaks, "What do you know of your father's plans? I know he hasn't contacted us much recently, and I doubt you're the same, but right now, any information you have, I need you to cough it up. Like, now."
I mean, he sent me here to assist you guys while he did all his other stuff. I know he was always studying magic and finding old relics, and I know he has some plan to try to find and rescue, or say, I don't know, figure out how to find Zaya again. He never really told me much about it, though.
Tikva's gonna insight Anton, if I'm allowed to.
Sure, that's fine.
Sure.
Trying to see if he's telling the truth here. Are you telling the truth here, buddy? Could have rolled higher, but are you telling the truth here, buddy?
Anton, go ahead and give me a just charisma check, please.
Staring you down, boy. I don't have pupils. It's very unsettling.
Truth eyes.
True thighs.
20.
Okay,
Oh, I mean, Anton wins. That's
Oh.
20.
that works. Okay, so yeah, Anton's
All
telling
right.
the truth, Tikva.
Tikva, she looks at him for a bit and then sighs when it seems she believes him to be telling the truth. And she says, "Well then, I don't think your father is being upfront with you. I just got a prophecy, I believe, from my dear late cousin, and in it, she says we have to find the sword of Saphira, whom I believe her captor fears, and we have to do it before your father, as she says, does something we all regret." Now, my cousin's not really one to care, at least in her living life, too much about dire consequences, especially when it came to her rescue or those around her that she cared for. For her to worry about the effects of your father, presumably his plans to save her, being on a large scale, worries me. Deeply
I mean,
worries me.
I know that was one area that he never really told me much on, but I know for as long as he's been around, he's amassed power and amassed knowledge.
Yes, and I'm beginning to wonder what he needs those for, truly. I mean, you have to admit, after our one conversation with Zilpip, the prospect of someone with that power, having that much power, and not being able to be regulated, does it not concern you? I've had no doubt in your father before, but I never really knew him.
I mean, I've never had an issue with him when he was bringing me up. I mean, it was pretty much all study, and practice. But I mean, he
Not very
was quite
loving.
busy. I mean, in his way, I think, suppose.
Mhm. Right. Regardless, I wanted to see if you knew anything. For now, I'm not going to worry too much about what your father does, more on making sure we get that sword. But, Anton, if your father seems to be going rogue, you know what will have to happen, correct?
Yes. I
Good.
mean, it was
If
him
you
that distracted the High King the other day. I don't know if you
is
saw
that
him.
so? No,
Yeah,
I don't think I was focused on individuals. Is that your ethereal wolves at work?
I assume it could be, or kind of looked like some new friends, ones he was talking about at one point in time of trying to find and talk to and research. But
Either
I did
way,
not know him.
as I said, I've trusted your father and his relationship to Zaya, but I must emphasize if you can get information from him, contact him to at least keep us in the loop about these things. I can't say my cousin's perspective is the right one, and her concern could be unfounded. She is, after all, kidnapped, with, I assume, limited access to what's all happening. But it's a concern, and I will be keeping my eye on it. I should wish you do the same.
Oh well.
And you see her kind of relax as she talks about her worries, and she kind of runs a hand through her hair that was more messily done this morning. She's like, then, whatever. It's not a major worry now. We have a fight to get to currently. I assume you're prepared for it?
As prepared as I can be.
And let's go to the others. I'll tell them about the sword, but I do think we should focus on immediate threats rather than distant ones for now.
Yes, I agree.
All right. As you lot begin to head back, you hear Freya discussing with her sword about wanting to see a manager. As it sassily seems to argue with Freya continuously, and then suddenly shuts up as soon as the door opens.
So sassy.
Sigma just like,
I'm gonna
Look-
look at Tikva and just be like, I got to talk finally. I think I annoyed it to the point that it spoke.
yes, annoying your weapons right before battle is very good work.
Freya's
And
just
she
gonna
kinda-
shrug it and be like, it's not exactly gonna go turn around and stab me.
I
You
might.
I mean-
Tikva,
You can't really stab me. If I turn you into whip form, you might be able to slash me a little bit, but I'll accept that at this point. It's more conversation with you.
Freya, not to interrupt your important conversation, but I do have a small thing I'd like to mention to the group before we head out to the battle. If you're all able to spare a moment, she
Of course,
looks
Freya
at the
starts
others.
shuffling the deck of many
Alright.
things.
I don't like that.
Do it. Do it.
Eyes on you, Dragonborn. Eyes on you, Dragonborn. No,
Shuffling deck.
she kind of clears her throat and is like, I was given a vision. My cousin was known for her prophetic abilities, and it's not the first one I've received from her. But when we are done here, there's another weapon of large power we need to make our way towards. Of course, we still need to gain allies, but I wanted to mention this in the off chance, well, perhaps I die, or perhaps we have to flee. There is a mission to still follow. The Sword of Saphira, I don't think any of you know its whereabouts, but
Roll history
It's
to have
what we
even
need to
heard
get
of that
back.
weapon.
I mean, I think that is the sword that is in this area.
Is it? She kind of looks at Anton a bit curiously. I thought this was a more dwarven blade. Saphira, if
I
I'm
guess-
correct, is the mother of dragons, god of dragons. Damn, I don't know if that's correct.
Right.
That's why I asked to
Yeah,
roll
I don't
history to see if
remember.
I recognize the name of the weapon.
Yes,
I'm
that
pretty
is
sure that's
correct.
what Miguel's character worshipped. Yeah.
Yeah, Saphira is the god of the dragons. Also the wife
Yeah.
to Tanaruk, the god of creation.
Slicknish.
Was it a similar name that the what's his face said the sword was?
Toutler said that it was the sword of Saphira, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is the sword.
Sealed in dwarvish place. Odd for a dragon weapon.
DM,
It
what-
wouldn't
what
be if you
form-
read the lore. Go ahead, yes, Kurgan?
What form did that message I get took? Like, was it a message spell or was it?
It was indeed a message spell.
Okay. I guess I'll speak up next, specifically to Tikva. I got word from my cousin last night. That is good and bad news at the same time, depending on how we handle it. Dragon's Gate is basically empty. Because they're all moving towards the Tiefling colonies.
That does not seem good.
It's only good because they're undefended as well.
Well, our next planned stop, should the dwarves be successful or a failure, which is seeming to be a failure, after this blade was, I believe, to head to the Tabaxi lands to ensure our alliance. If we have to meet them there, to delay them some, or go there and head to their capital, it can work. Although, what do you know of Dragon's Gate and its defenses? It seems foolish to evacuate a whole city unless Tenem is confident, cocky, that he can defend it some other way, or willing to sacrifice it completely. I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, island nations are usually can be easier to defend with a large enough force. He could just be intending to take the Tiefling lands of his own.
The colonies are more of a concern. We need the trade routes and the support. With what happened to the Tiefling lands before my and my cousin's rule, we got shattered. Our forces would be, I imagine, doubled at the very least if all those who fled to the colonies had remained on the mainland during the Rakshasa invasion. Sadly, like I said, we were scattered. We need to rally those forces, but again, it's been difficult. I assume he does not intend to take the island just yet. I assume he heads towards the colonies near the coast, which are admittedly probably less defended. That's who
Kurgan,
Malthor said he was going to see to. Perhaps we could meet him there.
Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead. Kurgan.
Yeah, Kurgan will speak up and say, well, the reason I'd want to attack Dragon's Gate is my personal power would rise quite a bit for the party because I would get the matching item to this as I pull out the axe.
Mm.
It would make me personally much stronger.
Would you be able to also create more powerful runes if that were the case?
If I was able to study the armor, perhaps, but if I got the armor, I might, word on might, have a better chance at fighting Tenem if it comes down to it.
If you challenge him to one-on-one combat, would he honor it? I don't know much about dwarven culture. I know amongst tieflings that could very well work.
Even if he doesn't honor it, the other dwarves will and won't step in. And that's what matters. They'll respect it, and that's what matters more than him respecting it.
And if he tries
Then-
to call in help, then someone stepping in to take out his help is no longer interfering in a one-on-one. It's
Well-
If he breaks by getting someone to interfere, I could perhaps turn the dwarves because it shows that he's not honorable anymore.
And we would be there to oversee. Should anyone try tricky business, we are equally equipped to pick off those less honorable. Or,
exactly.
should you not
Without
be
the
confident
armor-
in a fight, we could also aid you, but you seem more honorable than that.
I wouldn't want you to interfere, but without the armor, I'm not confident in my victory.
Well,
What
then
say-
maybe after we get this, we try that, or we break apart and two of us go there, and the rest head to.
No. Freya, it is a nice idea, but with the issues with communication and anything that could be waiting there, a trap on either ends, I don't believe splitting up's wise. I do agree, however, that after this, we should, if the group's all in agreement, go to the Tabaxi lands, ensure they're willing to fight for us, send them to deal with the Encroci army, and we make our way to Dragon's Gate to get the armor, and then, using, of course, the airship, or Anton's magic, make our way right to Tenem and see if this duel works out.
If
Push
I
comes
might
to shove.
recommend, unless we're doing a full-scale attack on Dragon's Gate, I should probably go alone. They don't know I'm working with you. They still think I'm a spy.
Mm.
No one would stop me as I walk in.
They probably wouldn't stop me much either, other than to question me.
Because if they know any of you, they would question my allegiances of why I brought you there.
Perhaps
Freya's gonna
it would
simply
be
shrug, I don't know. I was dead for a while.
perhaps it would be smarter then to trust that Malthor and those would go to protect the colonies, and we go as a group. You split off, Kurgan, to do your mission, and we siege perhaps a false attack or a threat on Dragon's Gate. You can even come in saying that we are coming to attack and pretend to be giving them valuable information. That would prove you as credible to their cause, and perhaps we could say, having seen the sight of them getting ready to defend, we flee. I mean, Anton, I know you have some illusion magic, do you not? I know Cyrus did.
Not as much as him, but I do have an ability to cloak the group in illusion to make you look human, dwarven, although dwarven's a little bit harder for the taller people. I can only adjust people's height by so much. But we can have some sort of illusion.
Well,
Anybody that has ability to see through illusion, true sight or anything like that would see through it right away. But most people don't have that up a lot of the time.
well, I was thinking perhaps if we struck at night, spread out, and with our magic, we might be able to see more like a good-sized militia than a group of less than a dozen, and that might round them up, cause chaos. We can always flee. I mean, it's not unheard of for armies to send in small groups to cause chaos and burn supplies. They would think it legit, I would assume.
Yes, but also during wartime, more times than not, those groups sneak in. They don't ever get they don't announce their presence by launching magic from afar.
Still, if we go in, we have risk of actually being cornered and in danger. Like I said, this is more a false siege to make sure Kurgan can get in and get out. And to them, it might seem like a failed attack, an attempt to distract us. They might be on alert for more sieges, an actual proper attack. If they're on edge, they might not notice whatever Kurgan has to do to get in and out is
Well,
my only
if they still
concern.
believe him to be a spy, then it's nothing. If you're that worried about his safety, I do believe
Yes,
I'm probably going to be the least conspicuous of any of us to go with him. I can just
The
cling to
siege might be unnecessary. The only people I should have to knock out or fight are the people actually guarding the vault. Past that, anyone should let me walk by.
and I can go with him to assist in that. We're both strong enough to handle a couple of measly fighters.
Is a silver
Oh.
dragonborn accompanying a dwarf out of nowhere not suspicious? I mean, Kurgan, how much do they know about this little group I've been traveling with? I know I'll be of note, and I'm sure Anton might be as well, but what of the rest of us?
Freya does something she doesn't normally do. She lowers the visor on her helmet, and it kind of almost completely obscures her. The only thing sticking out now is a tail.
DM, how well acquainted is Tenem with everyone in the group? From what I
He
know.
might be at the restroom.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give him a second.
He has never met Freya, from my memory. He knew.
Well, he hasn't
Alpha?
met, but does he know of you is what matters. And even then, I doubt the random guards at the vault stuff will know who you are. I don't think. You've met some random dwarves that are kind of just...
Not to bother me.
Returns before the party finishes.
Okay, he has a question. Kurgan has a question for you,
What's
DM.
up?
How much does Tenem know about each party member?
Well, he's met Tikva personally.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Anton also.
Yeah, Kips, he doesn't know anything besides his reputation as a doctor. Because he didn't really pay any attention. Kips wasn't really a major character during the discussions.
Yeah, but I can't really agree. Doesn't he look really unique?
Yeah, being
being
a
a rare-
being a furbolg, he would be unique outside of being a slave. They're not really commonly seen as a accepted people.
I could pass him off as that if I had to.
And then
okay.
Freya being a dragonborn anywhere near dwarven territories is pretty rare. Most dragonborn aren't accepted in dwarven territories just because of the general prejudice between the two nations, especially as of more recent times. Freya is not a very well-known or famous person, though. However, her weapon is very famous.
Okay. So if I could pass Kips off as a slave, maybe.
And me off as a mercenary.
Perhaps, but someone might think stab first, question later with the race you
This
are.
still
I can hide
splits
my
up the
tail. It'll
group,
be
which was
uncomfortable to get in the armor, but it's something.
this
or a
still
little
splits up the
more
group,
half.
which is a
To be
concern of mine.
efficient- If we want to be efficient and actually get things done, we'll have to split a little bit and then meet back up.
But I mean, to split up in a way that is efficient. To send 3 of you all in, especially given how
no, I don't
suspicious
need
they
3.
appear
I
to
have
be.
need Kips or Freya. I only need one or the other.
Exactly.
I don't need both. It's whoever we can sneak in easier.
Or whatever you prefer. Would you prefer to be hitting harder or lasting a little longer in battle with healing?
It could also be more social. You might be able to pass Kips off that because he's a doctor, he's willing to offer his aid here. Perhaps even say if they recognize him that he left the group due to them not paying him enough. However, with you, Freya, I fear, like he said, they'll be too hostile and they'll have their eyes on you to see if you act suspicious, which puts more pressure on Kurgan than needed. As much as your aid would be appreciated, I'm sure.
If we don't want eyes on me, it'd probably be best if I just snuck in on my lonesome. There will be no threat, or at least shouldn't be, in the city that will outright
Can
be
you-
malicious towards me.
Take the guards alone without noise. I still think perhaps us providing a distraction.
In a
would be
secluded
beneficial.
vault without anyone there, perhaps. I could probably.
Does
pull it
this vault
could
have a
also set up-
teleportation circle you are aware of? And she glances at Anton as she says this.
off. I think I've only been in the vault once, right, Liam?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah, because I got the axe, so I wouldn't know.
I think Anton knows a circle in the city. I don't know how close it would be to the.
That is correct.
This vault.
Anton does know. In fact, Cyrus would know it very well because he's dealt with this. There is a circle, a teleportation circle underneath Dragon's Gate. That is where the Captain Ricard's father actually was, but when it caved in, when the ancient red dragon basically destroyed the place. There's also an ancient lich's tomb that has been left unguarded down there.
Unguarded Lich's tomb, you say?
Yeah, the lich was killed.
My loot sniffers are going off.
There may or may not be a control rod for a very large iron golem army.
I feel like you're trying to tempt us. I don't want to go there anymore. I'm being honest.
No, that's just an actual thing that happened because of fucking Grim Legacy.
Yeah.
They just left
Yeah.
the iron golems in the city.
I remember that rod.
They killed the lich, and then they left the fucking loot because they left. Well, I mean, Tenem threw
Maybe
them out,
cursed. I don't trust you.
but that's a fair point.
Bring on the curse.
Oh, I guess there is technically a lich down there, but he's not the lich that was guarding the place.
Yes.
Trent probably remembers
Isn't
that
it-
character.
Is it the jackass teleporting one?
No. That
Okay,
guy
good.
is long retired.
Captain Ricard's father's long retired.
Yeah,
The guy that kept bothering Fraz, is he down there as a lich? I would love to meet with him again. I want to meet him.
You know, maybe not. Maybe he's still stuck on that wall. Who knows?
I really want to find him. He's great.
Anyways, back to the main story. Let's.
There's no use talking about it anymore now until we actually have to do it. It'd be best if we handle this battle first and then decide based on how this goes.
Yes, I do agree. We shouldn't take too long. We can always plan on the way while traveling.
No.
And perhaps when we get to Dragon's Gate and we see the situation, we might be able to formulate a better plan.
And for the marching order for going out there, I do believe it'd be best for me to be in front, since I seem to be the one of the better ones to take a hit other than Anton here with his magic.
Right. Depending on how large the room is, could perhaps summon my unicorn mount, which would give me more oomph going in. But again, I didn't get a good look at the room, so it would be best for me to perhaps enter a bit more behind to ensure I'm a bit more protected.
While I am a tank, it's best if I'm near the middle, because as long as people are in my sight, I can help them to an extent using my runes.
Then here's how I believe it should be. I'll be front point. Anton and Kurgan will be right behind me. Kips and the Queen will be behind them.
That works for me.
Sounds good to me.
If we break
Then
this
one-
formation, we try and surround the beast and slaughter it quickly. Don't need to waste time,
Mhm.
nor our own blood, in attempting to get this sword.
Right. It's useful, but again, the message I sent was another sword, unless this is the Sword of Saphira, which again I'm in doubt of.
Huh? Dwarves like to collect weird artifacts. It wouldn't
However,
surprise
I
me.
must say,
I can attest to that. Oh, yeah.
if we do need to flee and wait, Anton can probably summon that mansion again, or did you say would stay here for a while?
Yes, unless I dispel it, it will stay right here for, well, what's left of 24 hours?
Should it,
Mm-hmm.
16,
Should it-
15 or 16. Yeah.
12 more hours.
Correct.
Not bad.
then should it not take too long, we can attack it, flee, wear down its endurance until we can kill it off. I do emphasize speed is key here, but I'm not in too big a rush.
Then let's go.
Yeah.
Go out in
Once
that
we
order.
enter, I want to know what size this creature is, because I have a plan.
Okay.
All depends on how big it is.
Okay.
It might work.
All right.
Now, question. Trey's been shuffling this deck the entire time. Anyone want to draw a card?
No.
No.
Kips is quiet.
If you draw that card, you better do it nowhere near me.
Nah.
Freya puts the deck of many things away and heads for the door.
All right. As you lot begin heading out in your marching order, I assume it'll be Freya, followed by Kurgan or Anton?
Yeah, I'll
Um,
take probably third, I think it was, you
Yeah,
said,
I'll take
Cameron.
second.
Okay.
Granted, I can only buff Freya then, but
All
throw
right.
the tank.
I assume Kips and then Tikva to keep the cleric somewhere near the front.
That
I'm
was
fine with that.
How I did it.
Okay, as Tikva
Well, I
BRBs
basically-
for a second.
And then I basically had planned for once we enter the room, we'll be in a formation similar to. Ah, crap! I screwed that.
You're fine. Okay. So as the party begins to head out of the mansion doors still stay there, but the rest of it still stays to a slight invisibility. You can somewhat see it in the camouflage of the tunnel, but is not easily viewed. The doors are very clearly seen. As you begin to walk, you notice the dwarven bodies are gone. The hallways are clean. There are no more battle scars around the hallways. And in fact, the hallways almost look brand new, as if they were just freshly carved recently. Just checking
That is
something.
worrying.
I don't think any of you have true sight, correct?
I have Devil's Sight, which
It's not
I
what
don't
I'm
think
asking
No.
gives me-
Okay.
I don't think any of us have true sight.
I
no.
think the only one that could would be Tikva, and I don't believe she does.
Let me check.
I mean, I could just prophetic vision. That
Won't help. It does
Damn.
not look like it.
Yeah, I have it, but I do not have it prepared, so I cannot cast it.
So as each of you begin heading in, I mean, yeah, the rooms are cleaned. It's a little warmer than it was, but you are underground. It is well known that most dwarves like to build near heat sources because, well, it's cold down
Lava
in deep earth.
whatnot.
Heading up to the two doors, they are still slightly cracked. As you look at them, they are still made of this purplish blue, strong and sturdy metal that is, for some reason, rather light, but also extremely heavy as you hear it against the ground. Freya, since you're entering first, as you look at the doors cracked, you can't enter, yet you're going to have to push the doors open.
I'm gonna carefully push the door open just a bit further to peek in.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Alright. And dice, I'm rolling real today because I don't, just in case D&D Beyond does lag out.
While he's doing that, Anton is
21.
going to cast Armor of Agathis on himself.
Okay. With a 21, as you look in, you see a very large, and even large compared to the dwarven strongholds you've seen in your time of traveling. In fact, this is probably larger than any castle or keep you've ever seen. As you look on in this massive stronghold with purple and blue buildings made of pure ruby, some made of diamonds themselves, solid gold statues of massive
Look
ancient
back
dwarves.
and telling them we're stealing every building that's in this place. I hope you know that.
You see from this distance, with your perception, some of the buildings have weapons of extreme potency of magic. Just by the look of them, you can see them shining with the arcane, hanging above doors. But there doesn't seem to be a body in sight as you look about, and you don't see any traps with your perception score.
Can I rely on smell to see if I still smell death on the air?
Yeah, give me a secondary perception check.
Let's go. 30. My plus 11 perception is coming through. Thank you, dice.
Just give me a minute.
Plus 11? Jesus.
Yeah, Freya is very perceptive.
You you definitely smell a very hot heat source, and you can clearly see there's a lava lake flowing, well, technically magma lake flowing through the stronghold. There are actually quite a few. You actually can manage to see a couple of forges that you can even smell were have been long since cold, that are being definitely powered by lava, and they are still able to be powered, just nothing's being worked. You don't smell any bodies, you don't smell really anything, to be honest, other than the heat. It just smells like a cave that's been worked in a long time ago. You do get a twinge of dust, as if this place hasn't been touched in a while.
Be careful. Don't know if there's any traps, for one. For two, there is no scent of death. Freya's gonna slowly walk in, careful and ready to jump back, basically.
As you open the door, while it's easy to push, it seems to grate against the ground, leaving deep scars into the ground, as you see. This is an incredibly heavy door, from what you can tell, made of a very durable metal. Looking around with your passive perception, you see that this place looks like it's been long abandoned. There's no one here, clearly. As you looked around overall, you see more and more buildings, some with different dwarven houses listed to them in ancient dwarvish languages that many of you don't recognize. Kurgan barely being able to make it out himself, having been raised amongst the Zariuses. Even those who speak dwarvish would have a hard time really reading these characters, as these are thousands of years old.
I want to read what I can.
I'm just gonna keep going down, and basically any magical weapons I come across, I'm going to pick up and see if the sword eats.
Give
As we
me
go.
a
How
moment.
eat magic items? We need those.
Yeah, you might want to share.
Your
Or
sword doesn't
see if
even
they're
like you. Why
cursed.
are you eating more?
If it eats a cursed item, your whole sword's cursed.
Oh, that's true. No, yeah.
Kurgan, as you walk in,
Yeah.
given your dwarvish, you catch something that on the ground that you read looks to be carved very faintly. The name of the city and a bit of a dossier of it.
Oh.
There you go.
Reiterating, we're stealing one of these buildings when we go to leave.
I'm gonna write that in the Dark Sages journal.
Okay.
'Cause even though it is a magic item, it can be used like a normal book.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And as far as the noble houses you read, give me a minute. I am scrolling down to find my nobility list, as this is a long fucking list.
I am gonna call everyone over before they get themselves killed.
Okay.
Because
Sorry,
of
I'll
what I
come back
heard.
over and look at them all. Have we decided which building we're stealing?
We're not entering any of them.
I didn't say enter. I said we're breaking it down
We're
and
not
stealing.
stealing any of them.
So you
They're
see
full of monsters.
on them, the first one you recognize, the smallest of the group, being House Stone. It's the easiest to make out as it's almost identical to your own current language, except for a minor character. This seems, and you recognize this name, having been that Stone is a pretty common name back in the Dwarven lands. In fact, the House Stone was one of the longest ruling members of the Mountain Dwarves to ever exist. And it's spelled in the same way, even back in your homelands. You catch the House of Oventium, which is a bit larger, made of pure silver, as the stronghold looks to be a rather large tower with different gemstones about it. You also catch the name House Thromgullen, which seems to have be a giant, rather gold, square-like building with a large gold coin embezzled into the design. You catch the House Tementhia after reading it. Takes you a few seconds to kind of read this one, as this isn't a name that you're as commonly referred towards in Dwarvish. In fact, as you're reading the characters, you're realizing this is actually a curse back where you're from. Someone who would be cursing at something, someone would be saying these words. And you see that the building, while made of a cheaper, what looks to be some sort of like slate or darker rock, seems to have been broken down and torn apart. And the last one you see is a purely cheapened, broken down rock house that reads Scottmish. You have no idea what this house is and barely are able to make out the wording for it, but you recognize some of the characters enough to know that that's what the house is.
Uh-huh.
Seeing him kind of reading the signs and stuff, Anton is going to cast Comprehend Languages. So for the next hour, I can understand literal meaning of any words spoken, understand written language I see. So he'll just kind of cast it and start looking around a little bit also.
You catch on to the same houses, barely being able to make out the lettering, as this is a language that did not exist in your in your world.
Yep.
Only recognizing what is in very old Dwarvish, you catch some of it.
Okay.
I do want to hand him the book on the city name and everything, so I'll send that to
Feel
him.
free.
There you go.
So should we be worried about curses, or can we start just, utilizing
We should
the
be
environment?
worried that most of these houses are filled with evil monsters. That's what we should be worried about.
Which one's the evil monster that we're looking for that's holding the house that we need to get the sword from?
I wish it was that convenient. I don't know. All I know is it says there are monsters in most of the houses. And it doesn't say which ones either, so every house you open is going to be a gamble.
Well, how big is the room again?
You'd guess this, where you're at is the main entrance to the stronghold. So it's rather wide open. It's about 60 feet by 60 feet, and you see on the ground emblazoned different designs of different dwarvish kings and queens. None of which any of you recognize. This room is, if you had to put a rough estimate, probably almost 400 feet tall by maybe double that in length. I mean, this is a very large stronghold.
And the doors to
buildings
most
everywhere.
of the houses seem to be unlocked from...
Yeah, most of the buildings seem to be abandoned. Anything that was made of cheaper materials, such as wood and such, has long ago rotted.
Are there any chains just sort of lying out in the open?
Not that you see.
There's that idea. Can't use the environment that way. How close is the nearest lava lake?
About 60 feet from you. As you look around, as you are standing in this entrance, you see that going forward, you could go up to the immediate magma lake river that runs through, also pouring down from the ceilings. and further into the area. You can go either right or left, not really seeing down the street as you've just entered. Both sides seem to be still fully paved, from what you can tell, in this really rich-looking, almost glowing silver limestone, with bridges that go over the magma river that seem to have a slight magical sense to them, that more to keep them pristine and from melting. That will take you into what looks to be the noble district across the river.
Time for dumb
Yep, sir.
joke. Welcome to Royce's version of Blackreach, everybody.
Go ahead,
Yep, Sir
Anton.
Tikva, do either of you have access to locate object or have it available today?
Let me see.
I don't think I do, but I'll double check.
But I can do something.
I
No,
do not.
Freya
I
is
do
going
not have
to create.
locate object.
Freya is going to create a echo. And
Mm,
Okay.
wait.
are there windows in the houses?
Most of them are long gone.
So there's no. I'm asking if there's like windows to look in.
Oh yes. There are holes in these buildings where where windows once stood.
Freya is going to have move and stay 30 feet away from them, but move just close enough to have the echo walk up to the windows.
All right. As you cast out, while Tikva and Kips kind of scour through their magical abilities, your Echo, looking in, notices. I mean, the rooms are very well decadently designed. Again, most of the fancier woodwork having long since been eaten away by some sort of termite creature or just time itself from the heat. But many of the stone structures and weapons and such still seem to stand the test of time in these rooms. But no monsters, no sign of anything living.
Question.
I'm gonna move
Royce.
10 feet closer and have the echo just sort of go through.
What
the window.
was?
Okay.
Did Toddler, when he
the-
teleported us here,
Ow.
say the name of the weapon? Or
Yeah, he said the Sword of Saphira.
Oh, it was the Sword of Saphira.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, I
why
thought
I
it
was
was
sitting
Sophia.
here like keeping my smile on the fact that you didn't realize
I
I
have-
said that.
I have a bad memory. It's
okay.
fine. Okay.
Thanks for the memory.
Thanks for giving us no direction, Zaya. Very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so as Freya, as your Echo goes inside, nothing seems to happen. It's a dusty room. It kicks up a little bit of dust.
Which house did I make my echo go into again?
It's up to you. You've got about 4 or 5 choices.
I'll have it go into the silver house.
Okay. So as it goes into the Silver Maid house, as you enter, finding a couple books on the shelves, seeing them that they're glowing with arcane ability. You see a queen, a female-looking queen of the dwarves, standing there in statuesque form, holding a very ancient-looking sword.
It's
And,
mimics. We're gonna be dealing with mimics.
as you look
Yeah,
about,
sounds about right.
huh?
Said, yeah, the mimics sound about right.
Yeah, and as you look about, there's a couple of maps on the wall, some drawings
good.
and paintings and such.
Out of stone.
Huh?
I'm guessing carved or painted onto stone, not
No,
cloth.
they are painted onto what looks to be some sort of enchanted cloth.
Okay. I will look at the others and be like, okay, the silver building seems safe, at least for my echo. I will step in first.
So are you gonna
Wait. Before you enter the house, Tikva kind of waves her aside to look towards the houses. Can I, real quick?
Mhm.
I don't know what would be more fitting, Arcana or History. Wanting to either try to detect the magic of the sword, if Tikva would be aware of like what magic might be tied to Saphira, or a History check to see if she can know what ties these houses might have had to Saphira, if she's aware of any.
Well, assuming it's a god level sword, the magic's probably really strong.
Yeah,
I would go
so,
Arcana first.
Yeah, and I think I have advantage on Arcana checks
Feel
because
free.
of a rune.
Because of the rune.
so-
Yep.
So yeah, before we go in and die,
Well, you guys
let's
are still
be smart.
crossed and still in the center, the front entrance. You guys haven't moved from there yet.
before
We haven't
Freya
really
goes in and
entered-
dies.
We haven't entered the main stronghold, which is where the sword is most likely to be.
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah, I doubt it's in the front rooms. That'd be way too easy.
Let me add this because I'm not good. 26 total for my Arcana check.
Okay. First off, you sense that pretty much everything in this stronghold has some sort of light magic on it. Either something to preserve or be heat resistant or fire resistant. You do sense deeper into the nobility district, far out of eyesight from here, and it feels like it's often about another 200 feet probably away that you guys can't see currently. There is something giving off a very palpable arcane sense to it. A lot of magic's coming off of it. You can't tell. You can tell it's divine magic. It is not the arcane form. But you can also tell there's also a large source of arcane magic coming from the same area.
But it's not in any of these houses. It's in a different area.
Yes,
Tikva
it's far
looks
beyond
at
the
them.
houses.
She's like, "This
No.
is pointless. The energy I sense isn't even here. Something divine and arcane, perhaps both the same or different items, are deeper in the nobility district. It's pointless to
Frey is going to
risk
look
our
back
lives
and
here."
simply state, if it's safe to loot these places, there could be items in
It's
there, magical
not
or
safe.
unmagical, that might be of use.
It's the furthest thing from safe.
I would say, personally, with time in my kingdom still being on the line, I'd rather we handle the large threat and come back for smaller things later. I just checked the arcane nature. Nothing in this house stood out as exponential or really fully worth our time to me. At least in the grand scheme of a god board, nothing here would
mean-
offer us much aid.
Unless Freya wants a rock with fire resistance, and they are just rocks.
I mean, chucking a fire-resistant rock at something down the throat of something that breathes fire
I'm
can
gonna-
be useful.
I guess. Well, if Freya wants to walk into a room and possibly die, I guess I'll keep walking. That's fine.
Frey'll head towards the nobility district, taking points still,
Yes.
grumbling.
If the fight goes well, we can always come back later, but with
We are coming back.
knowing
If you guys aren't
nobility-
coming back with me, then I'm coming back alone. And guess what? I'm stealing all of these houses.
Well, I would like to advise you that being of nobility myself, you can guarantee, monsters or not, there are going to be traps and tricks to keep you from any good loot.
With
So-
how old this place is, it doesn't matter what you think of nobility.
I would not
Believe
doubt.
in nobility.
Doesn't matter how
Monsters
old
will
it
move
is.
in.
Everything's well preserved.
Yes,
And
doesn't
dwarven
matter about that.
architecture exponentially is good at preserving such things.
Monsters move in where there is not people to keep them out.
You see as Kips kind of just opens a door to his lab and walks in,
Awesome.
Not,
closing the door.
not just leaving
There
us.
goes the
Okay.
healer. Alright.
Well, there goes our healer. No fights today. Session ended.
I mean, he can open that door and come back at any time.
But we need him now.
We can't get them.
What is Kips doing? Would he like to share in VC with everyone? What his plans are? Would you like to say hi to the group, Tren?
Hi.
Been a while. Why are you leaving us?
There's a spooky.
You just see as
There's a-
Kips
Oh,
reopens
Yeah, we're going to a monster fight.
Kips opens a small little porthole in his lab and says that and closes it back up.
What you
Can't-
mean?
Get your ass back out here, you goddamn hairy coward.
We are going to a monster fight. You were aware of this yesterday.
No, something's coming closer, and I don't like it.
What, you can tell us what it is and where it is. That would be nice.
Perhaps.
Which direction is it coming from?
From what you could tell, it was coming from the left side, farther down, about 400 to 500 feet away from the amount of palpatableness it was giving off.
I point that way, and I say around 500 feet away.
So instead of staying to help ensure we don't die with your magic, you'd rather hide in the lab and not tell us initially?
How fast is
such
it
a
moving, friend?
Tikva readies her
Kips,
sword,
it's
by the way.
slow from what you can tell. It's non-hostile to you.
I still don't
I mean-
like it. Just because it's not hostile doesn't mean it isn't dangerous.
How fast it is, this will change a lot.
How quick is it going? Is it coming, DM?
I mean, it's been moving towards you for a while. It doesn't seem to be at a hurried pace.
It
He didn't
isn't-
say anything.
It isn't coming quickly.
Well, then it could
Then-
just be a stone golem guardian or something of the like. It's not really.
Could
gonna
also
bother
be
us,
something we
won't bother it.
avoid if you come help us finish this fight quick, Kips.
Well, technically, do we even need to go that way? Do we have to go 200 feet in another direction? Can't we just go?
I think the
Sounds
concern
like
is
we
it's
better.
something that can burrow and follow us. But again, if we finish this fight quick and get out, it won't be of a concern.
Let's just go. And Freya's gonna look at the porthole. You coward! You're supposed to be the healer. You're supposed to keep us all healthy. Get your ass out here.
And you've got no room to call him a coward. You hid behind the person you're supposed
Just-
to protect when...
Just throwing this out here, Kips. No
Pepper-
ill will. If I die, there will be no funding. Just saying. Just throwing that
No
out
more
there.
lemons if she dies.
I don't have a will written out yet. Everything will be saved until my daughter is of age to take as heir. That's
Upon her saying that, I immediately exit out, and I'm just like, "Hey, buddy," and I just put my arm around her shoulder. It's like, "How you doing?"
I'm doing very well, Kips. Let us go fight this thing, and if it'd be very wise to ensure I don't die. I just throw that out there. I'm very confident in your capabilities.
I
to do such.
I very much agree with that statement, friendo. Don't worry, you'll
Right.
be fine.
Tick was walking, by the way, so if Kips wasn't, she was just dragging him with her,
Okay.
Freya's
with his
taking
arm around
point,
her shoulder.
As you
rolling
all
her eyes, and at Kurgan's comment, simply stating, "You face the man that slaughtered your entire family, then we'll talk about your fear of a single person."
As you all are beginning to walk in that direction, heading to one of the bridges, are you heading right or left? Both sides have a bridge going across the river.
Whichever
Which way is
Tikva
magic
sends
from?
Yeah,
magic.
would
It is
would
coming from
Tikva
straight
know?
in front of you, past the nobility district, which is past the
And I'm
massive
walking
river.
straight. We don't have any reason to go
Well,
left or
there's no
right.
bridge
Yeah,
straight in front of you.
Oh, then
We'll
we'll go
head
right.
How-
That's
How
Yeah.
big's the water? or
It's
whatever
not
it is.
water, it's magma.
It's lava.
Lava.
Magma.
Oh, lava.
Magma.
Magma.
Lava is
Liquid.
above the surface. Magma is under the surface.
I'm going this way as I walk right.
Okay.
Mm.
Freya will go right then. Goddamn. Keep
With
I'd
your
rather
guys'
avoid that.
passive perception, as Freya and Kurgan immediately start heading in that direction, both of you see
Oh,
what
they're-
looks to be a short, statured person walking towards you with a cane in hand, walking very slowly. They look to be very old by the hunched over appearance and have a very long white beard that is dragging behind them.
I'm gonna put a
Freya's gonna
hand on
greet
Freya.
them in
Hold on.
con.
I'll talk to him.
Oh.
I'll talk to him.
Okay. So does
Now,
the party wait?
For what
Yeah,
race?
Tikva was gonna try to do something depending on how big this thing was, but
What
yeah,
race
she'll
is it?
lot them.
Okay. Anton?
We'll just move within like 60 feet or so of
Okay.
what's going on.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
as he does, if Tikva's not coming with, he is going to touch Tikva's shoulder and cast fly on both of them.
Okay.
And just say,
okay,
just in
okay.
case.
Alright.
Tikva kind of shrugs.
Okay. After about 20 minutes of very slow walking,
We could have crossed. We didn't have time for this. We're on a time limit.
This person finally catching up. You realize is about 3 feet tall at probably at the highest, at mid hunch. Very ancient as the wrinkles are drooping over the eyes. Missing teeth as a grin is seen, and the few that are left are almost blackened with rot. The smell is of death all around it. You could assume this might be a dwarf, or this could be, just a very old human. As it walks up, it just continues to walk with its its
Why
cane.
is Mike screaming?
Made
Why is Mike
of
screaming?
very, very old-looking rock of some sort. You're not familiar with this stone, but it looks to be something similar to the door. And as the creature continues to tap, okay, as you begin, you hear the cane begin to tap closer and closer. The creature goes, Come closer, Sonny. I can't make you out. Old eyes, if you will.
I don't trust that.
Neither do I, but if we don't...
Freya
like,
will walk up in front of him. I'm not
Or
a man,
just-
but I'm a
Freya
woman.
will. Okay.
Avoid it.
Dragonborn, right? That's what your people are called?
Yeah. What's
I
left
knew-
the most?
I knew one of your kind. His name was Himkin. Very kind fellow, very, unfortunately misjudged person. Everyone thought he was a great dragon. He was just a dragonborn. But,
Sounds like a lot of great dragonborn that end up becoming dragons in myth.
truly, he was, he freed his people from those damn Helly. Good man. What can I do you for? You've visited my, stronghold, I see.
Well, my group and I are here looking for a sword called the Sword of Saphira.
Well, I am unfortunately here to tell you that sword is long rotted away. I'm guessing that you're here for the treasure trove that's guarded by a very large dragon across the nobles district. There's a old sarcophagus there of a woman long buried ago. Not a dwarf, not anything I recognize, but apparently someone from even before my time. Even before the stronghold, supposedly, she was moved here for protection. The dragon can be spoken to, I will warn. But he is not the kindest of fellows, as you can imagine, guarding a tomb for so long.
No, he probably would be pretty pissed because I can imagine being left somewhere and put to do something that I don't want to do.
Yes, he was once worshipped by the dwarves that lived here, even. But long time has passed that has happened. The dwarves here have been long since gone. Although, and he starts to sniff the air, as you realize it is he, just barely being able to tell at this point. He goes, one of your compatriots smells of the people of here.
Well, there's two of them that might be. There's a human, who I don't think is fully human, and then there's a dwarf.
I'm not familiar with what humans are. And as you
Oh,
say
I'm gonna
dwarf
look
and
that up.
common, the man looks at you and goes, I don't recognize that term.
Oh, what was the term of the... Was it Bargis that learned? It might have been Bardrus. No, it was Bargis that learned that. I can't remember that. Fuck. Bargis learned what these guys were called. Kurgan wouldn't know. Damn.
Short mountain folk is what that word means.
With nice
It's similar
beards.
to what you called them before, the people that worship the dragon. That's what they're called in my homeland.
So the Vadan did make it out. Good for them. I wonder if that means the king's still alive. You, small one, come here, as he points at Kurgan.
Yeah. I'll step forward.
No, come
Aye.
closer.
Steps back and drags him up.
I'm
Get up.
stepping up willingly.
Okay.
You don't have to...
As soon as you come up, he immediately grabs your beard with a vice-like grip and pulls you to his face so he can stare you in the eyes and goes, You smell.
Told you should have taken a bath.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
I took a bath before we left.
You're
Maybe that's why you smell.
one of his descendants, aren't you?
I am?
Boy, young you are. You're and you carry one of his weapons. Interesting.
Well,
Queen,
there are
come
other-
here.
there are other
Hush, boy,
descendants. I'm
as
not
he
the
shoves you away.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm not the last
What
of my
did-
clan. There are other descendants as well.
Queen,
What did
if
he
I'm-
say?
little
Under-
queen, come here.
Yeah,
Tikva,
you're
who's been kind of just like swatching back, hand like on the hilt of Sunforger, like keeping an eye out. Not even on the man necessarily, although she's been listening to him speak, but also around the cavern, whatever area, for monsters. And as the word queen registers, she kind of looks over and she's like, "Me? You wish to talk to me, sir?"
It's friendly.
And
He's
he
friendly
takes-
enough. Get up here.
He takes his hand, or he reaches up and grabs Tikva by the horn, dragging her down to his
What?
face.
She, I
He
didn't
just
say she
did the
walked
same
over yet,
thing.
but okay.
What had happened?
No,
I would have
fine.
dragged you. Freya would have dragged you over in 5 seconds anyway. Fly.
You smell of them. That explains it. You are destined for something very terrible, my young lady. You're gonna have to face off against one of his clan. I give you this advice. Don't make friends with anybody here, and be ready to kill anybody who gets in your way. Trust me, do what I couldn't.
Hmm.
You,
Alright then. sir.
you, the lemon-smelling one, come here.
You smell
Yes.
fresh.
I'll push you over.
He lets go of Tikva's horn and shoves her away.
Yes, sir.
Your people are long dead.
Oh,
Your people had a magic that could heal any wound or sickness I once knew of. You have a good mind for it. You're gonna die a terrible death. Now
Wow.
Get away. And I have nothing to speak of you, you damn helly. You aren't welcome here, and I wouldn't recommend speaking to the dragon. He won't like you much.
How about we leave the dragon talking to me and Kurgan here?
I suppose I could try.
If you can't, I'm not that charismatic, but I can.
You might
Could
be
perhaps-
I will be on my way. And he turns and just starts walking away.
Have a wonderful day, sir. It was a pleasure
What's on the
talking to you.
other bridge, by the way?
Both bridges head up the same way. They're just on different sides.
Just one's left.
Did
one's
the other
right.
one not have the man?
No, the man wasn't on the bridge. He was just walking down from the left side. From what you see further down, it looks to be a scholarly area. As you recognize a sign of a book.
So scholarly's that way. What's the other way then?
As you
What's
look to
that
the
way?
right, you see a very large market district.
Well, do we want to go through the market or the scholar area?
I don't think it matters, since we're going to be passing through anyways.
Both bridges are within 20 feet of just turning out of the main courtyard area.
What's
we
the
can
length
always
of
come back
the magma river, by the way? How wide is it?
About 60 feet wide.
Okay, just checking.
I say we just continue the way we're going, which is, I do believe, towards the market,
Is it?
as we said, right?
Either way works, yeah. I mean, you could go straight to the market, or you can just go over the bridge.
Alright. So when the dwarf was saying don't make friends with anyone here, could Tikva tell if he was referring to this stronghold or the people in this group? The party?
You're not sure. He was pretty vague. He wasn't nodding to anybody. He was just looking you dead in the
No.
eye.
That's what
And
I
he kept
figured.
playing with your
Oh.
horn.
I
Horny
swear.
old man.
he was very. God damn it.
Beat you to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, going
You're good
across
at
the
beating.
bridge towards the market area, I guess.
Okay. As you guys turn right, heading back over the bridge, or over to the bridge, you only have to walk a few feet, and as you're going over it, you see ancient blue runes drawn onto the bridge. With comprehend languages, Anton, you immediately recognize this. It just literally says fire resistance here.
Okay.
As you lot head over the bridge, you see each of the noble houses with different statues inside of them, different designs, different magic items over their heads, and of course, as Kurgan identified, the different houses themselves. Is there anything? You now have the option to head right or left. Both seem to circle around and head in the direction you're going.
Could I do like a, I don't know if it'd be like a perception or something
you
to
trying
see
to
if
do?
I can see like evidence of any monsters or anything on either
I'll get in
side.
on that too,
Like if
please.
there's claw marks or like
Perception
scales
check.
or like anything.
Yeah, that's perception.
What was that?
Perception.
Okay.
Perception for
Yeah, 'cause she wants to
monster
check
hunting.
them both out. And let me know if like I'd have to like move left or right to see better or something of that sort.
Well, the assumption would be that you'd walk to both ends
20.
and look down. 20,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah, definitely for sure. Let's
20 for Freya, doing the same thing.
I don't get advantage on perception for anything, do I? Nope. Nope, I do not. Where's my D20, goddammit? Okay. Oh, nat 20 plus 7, 27.
As you both,
I won't get that in battle.
As you both kind of walk to each side, looking down further, you do notice it looks like at the very end there seems to be some sort of a lot rougher of a cave design, as many of the houses and buildings seem to kind of pander off. but no sense of any creatures or any markings at all.
Hmm.
All right, which way we going, Queenie?
Tikva looks at Freya when she says that for a
Freya
second.
just shoots a smile.
I don't know, Dragonborn. The routes seem no different from another. In fact, it makes me worried, perhaps, that there's some magic at work to ensure they seem that way. Anton, you
Well-
didn't detect anything yourself, did you? I'm pretty confident in my abilities to see things, and I didn't see anything, but doesn't mean there's not something here.
Nothing that I've seen.
So there's no difference. It's just right keeps going where we've been going, and left goes the other way.
No, both go the same direction towards
They just
the other
circle
end.
around.
This looks to
What
be a
about
very large
the-
island.
Integrity of the bridges. Is there any notable structure difference between the two of them?
They're
Or-
identical.
nope.
Well, let's just keep going right.
In
Let's take
fact-
the right again.
Even with Kurgan's stone cutting, they seem to be made by the same craftsman.
Would it be wise for us to split up and go different ways, or go the same, you think?
If we do that, then one caster per side, and the healer goes with the side that is probably going to
No splitting up. We don't know what's here.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think we
If
stick
the bridge
together.
falls, though, are we prepared to be able to help each other? I mean, I can't offer much in the aid of others, but I can ensure my own safety should the bridge collapse.
You hear cackling off in the distance where the creature you'd spoken to earlier disappeared into.
That
If
old
you'd
dwarf
like, I
is a
could throw me
little
across and become much bigger.
Throw you the crown, I can become larger.
No, I said I can become bigger and throw one of you across.
Oh.
Well, I'm just gonna.
60 feet?
Freya's just gonna walk across the bridge on the right, going.
You guys are
"No,
already
I'm not
across the
making-
bridge, standing in front of the noble houses. You're on the center
I'm
island.
taking the road to the right.
Okay.
Freya's just like, I'm not gonna sit here and keep talking. I'm gonna go talk to a dragon. Screw
Alright.
this.
With all of the bridges, say we go one at a time.
Okay.
The bridges have already been crossed.
Yep.
Oh, this is just a road.
Yes!
As you both
Ah.
as you head to the right, Freya, assuming the party begins to follow.
Distance.
Heading
Yep.
down on your own, basically, at this point, as you watch the party slowly coming around, it seems undisturbed. There are surprisingly no traps. This is what looks to have been once a very prominent city. It's very dusty, but decadently clean. Heading further and further in, eventually coming to across a few buildings that, of course, naturally catch your all's attention as you see drawings on the stone behind the noble buildings of a very large golden dragon battling what looks to be a group of heroes of undescribed design. Many of them look very plain in their development. It shows them eventually defeating the dragon and it retreating. You also notice that in its hand, or in one of its claws, if you will, you see it holding onto what looks to be a lifeless body with a strange long beak and two giant golden eyes. A humanoid creature of some sort. And in the other seems to be a small black dot that seems to have faded from the design. And as you lot are looking upon this, nothing really catches your eye. There are no traps, there are no designs that look like they're personally trying to attack you. You do see what looks to be a rather large dwarf king sitting upon a throne at the very end, right as you guys come to the end of the long walkway. Wearing a very large orangish mohawk, with very large plate armor made of some sort of green metal. Wearing also a kilt of similar iron fashion and carrying a giant battle axe on his back. Just sitting on the throne with other dwarves seeming to almost worship him.
A high king in his teen years.
As you turn or go to the corner, you can see that there's a cave opening, a very large cave. One could almost describe it as a chasm, ripped in or torn into the earth. That looks to be, again, very empty from where you can see.
Did the Arcana Divine Magic I sense, is it in this room or is it
Seems
still
to
further?
be still coming in from this giant chasm.
Well, whatever I detect, Sword of Saphir or not, according to what that man said, it's in that chasm where presumably the dragon lies. Are we sure just barging in's our best choice? Are you really able to talk a potentially defensive or possessive dragon down? And she looks at Freya and Kurgan as she says this.
Talking
I
to
mean,
dragons is easy.
Would you rather just charge in with the blade and hope for the best?
Let's leave it to us to decide what we do at the moment. Let's just start down the cave. Kurgan and I will take the front, if it's wide enough for.
I was
both.
just wondering perhaps
it's about
we
a
would...
good 60 to 70 feet wide opening.
We're dealing with
Wouldn't
a
we-
pretty old dragon, and if we offer him his own freedom, and he takes it, then
How
there's a chance that we can.
would we provide it? I'm saying perhaps we send something like your Echo Knight in the Scout, or at least prepare before we go in, ensure we have protection. Going in to a dragon this ancient and hoping he will just welcome us as guest is ultimately, no offense,
Depends
foolish.
on the scale.
I don't think after so much time even that would matter. If it is trapped, like you said, caged animals do caged animal things.
I mean, I do
And
agree with
usually they aren't friendly.
You all be prepared. I will head down and start trying.
Okay.
Don't say anything to offend it if you can, Freya.
Kurgan's gonna walk in. I'll try not to let him die.
As
Her.
Yeah.
I'm going
said
to stab
them.
you. Call me
I said
him again.
him.
you hear the sword chuckle. Sword's chuckling at the irritation between the two players. As you turn, you immediately are welcomed by a very large, almost Goliath-sized woman with very long, blonde, goldish hair, wearing golden armor, full plate, sitting at a table, very simple stone table, eating what looks to be some sort of meat, with a fork and knife, cutting it off of a plate. As you see beside it is a very large, almost like silver-esque sarcophagus with inscribed runes all across it. And the
Freya's
woman's just
smile
sitting
and
there.
the woman and be like, "Hello." In Draconic.
You see the creature, the woman kind of just look at you, kind of with a confused, raised eyebrow. Looks at the dwarf. Looks at her weapon, this large greatsword sitting beside her that's got giant runes designed onto it. Looks back at you. And just kind of waves to the seat in front of her.
Freya goes and sits down calmly.
I guess I'll stand like behind and to the side of Freya.
Okay.
If there's only one seat, it's fine.
I didn't care anyway.
The woman kind of looks at you for a second and goes, "It's been long since I've had guests of any sort. How may I assist you?"
We're looking for the Sword of Saphir if it's still in existence.
No, that sword is long gone. My sister hasn't been much for this world in a very long time.
Your sister, meaning you are one of the old dragon gods.
I am not a draconic god. No, I served before they became a united front. By the way, you can invite your friends over. It's fine if you wish.
One of them you might not like to see. I
can
Ask you
smell
first.
them. Don't worry.
I'll go get them. Kurgan will do
Everyone's got such big
Freya's-
I'll
noses.
just say
in
I'll
this
be right
world.
back.
It's because I've got the lemon plates. They smell my
I'm not
lemon
talking about you.
Kips, it's not you.
She
No.
I
does look
apologize
at...
for the one that smells strongly
Yeah,
of
I'll
lemons as
walk
well.
out and I'll motion the
He's-
others to follow me in.
Okay.
I apologize heavily for the one that smells of lemon. He's strange.
She snaps her finger and the table elongates, more chairs pop up, and she looks at you lot and goes, "Feel free to sit if you wish."
Lemon.
Young Kips,
Oh, so-
I'm guessing, is the one who smells of lemons. Anton Galadron, you are the one of the wolf. Tikva,
I
of
am.
House Silversong, the queen of the Tiefling lands.
Hmm.
Freya, the last of the Silver Dragonborn. And Kurgan of Clan Zarius, grandchild of the one we do not wish to deal with.
The one that's kind of threatening the world a little bit. No? Thing.
She just kind of ignores Freya's comment and puts her hands up on the table, kind of holding them together. So, what can I do you for, Freya?
We need to either get a weapon that can get one of us equipped with a weapon that can help strike down a god,
You have
or
one.
we need to have allies to help in what is coming to the Tieflings.
Oh, I know about your war. You mortals like to kill each other over the silliest things.
Well, that's not the only war that's about to happen.
Oh, I know.
That's
This one's great-grandfather is a problem right now and is causing war on the world, and his ex-wife is even worse. As she
That's
looks
the
at
war
Kurgan.
I'm more worried
Yeah.
about. I don't care if the
Daryl.
Tiefling lands truly get wiped out or not. Lands change ownership, people die. That's how it is. But in reality, I'm more worried about the entire world.
Yes, the world will go on. You mortals will be wiped out, and we will start anew. You've already met one of the gods who is waiting for that.
I'm guessing that
That
was
old
the man
fool?
out there.
Quaint observation.
If you don't mind me asking, miss, we were here to search for the Sword of Saphira, and the man we met on that bridge told us it is no longer...
Yeah, she just said the
Existing.
same. She
My
just
na-
said the same.
Oh.
Allow me, my name is Eingana. You may call me
Eingana.
Eingana the Old if you wish. However, I don't really care for that nickname. It's what these wingless creatures seem to call me.
The dwarves.
No,
Eingana.
your folk. She looks to Freya.
Miss
Oh.
Aigana, if you don't mind me asking, how can a weapon of such power have rotted? Surely remnants remain of its power. Could they perhaps be forged together again
My
to
sister
complete itself?
wasn't a forgeman, nor a forge master. No, the only thing that is here is what that is in that sarcophagus. Any of you are welcome to try and open it. If you succeed, you may have what's inside. If you fail, well, it could kill you.
I would like to. I'm not going to touch it, but I want to inspect the sarcophagus.
Can I
Freya's gonna
Arcana
walk
check
up
it?
and
It
I
gives
turned
off
to
a
study
lot of
it.
magic. Kurgan, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Man, I'm bad at these. That's a +0.
Freya's gonna look at Isilda and ask, "What's the
I'm gonna-
yeah, no. Yeah,
Agana,
no.
sorry,
No, I know nothing.
Agana," and say, "I'm guessing there's a trick to it."
No trick. The one who is chosen
May
by
I?
this can open it.
Can I insight her words to see if she's being upfront and honest with us,
Sure.
or if she's like trying to trick us into doing
Don't know
something?
how well inciting a god this old will do, but I'm interested. Let's see.
Listen,
Not a
I
god.
can listen. If the
technically,
Arcana check's not gonna work because it's too magical to discern, the next best I got is insight. I don't
and
think I
in
can
this,
medicine
don't kill
check this
anyone that
thing.
It doesn't deem as worthy.
Kips, quick, medicine check the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Okay.
medicine-
Pure mummification
Would
on
it
sarcophagus.
be more used to perception the sarcophagus already? Would that be? Would
Up
you
to
guys
you.
like if I did that?
I can absolutely perception. I can do that.
Alright, there's my 24,
Yeah.
the medicine.
And I want to insight.
Okay.
It's a sarcophagus.
Ah, yes, the sarcophagus is made out of sarcophagus.
18 perception. I would like to see what I can know about this thing.
I got a 26 for insight. Probably
Okay.
not gonna do anything, but you know.
Your insight. She's telling the truth.
Hmm.
Outright, this is not a trick. She seems to be honest. Kips, this is whoever was buried in this thing is buried in traditional dwarvish style. This is a traditional silver sarcophagus that is designed for nobility and royalty amongst the dwarves, to preserve the body for as long as possible. Typically buried inside of these things is also their personal possessions of the greatest of value. Kurgan, with your perception, it's a silver sarcophagus. It has a lot of magical runes on it. You can't read the runes. They are ancient.
They're not giant's runes. Okay,
Freya's
got it.
gonna go up to the sarcophagus.
Miss, her words are hard, names are hard to pronounce. How was it again? Out of character?
Eingana.
Angana. Miss Angana. If we fail, would it be a magical explosion of some kind that would
Nope.
kill us all, or is it singled?
It would immediately kill you. It just sucks your soul away. The body is left behind, but many have tried, as she points to a tower of bodies that you see out front, or out beside her. As you suddenly notice as it suddenly appears. Also, at this point, you notice that as you're looking around back towards the stronghold itself, the illusion that was there has vanished. It is now, you can see a lot of cracked buildings falling apart, bodies stacked upon bodies. In fact, you must have walked over almost hundreds of them from your guess, from the amount of bodies you see piled up around here. This looks to have once been this was a recent battle of a dwarvish skirmish.
Oh,
How do we know what might be chosen? Is there anyone, a myth, a fable that might inform us?
No?
And
Yes.
Anton walks up to or has been kind of examining this. Rests a hand on the sarcophagus and says, "Alenta, the last of your kind, of the true kind. May I open your resting place?"
What the fuck?
And he'll just say it. Actually, he will say it in Celestial.
Freya perks her eyes up and looks at him.
As this happens, everyone else freezes suddenly. Except for you, Anton, and Aingana. A blue man, standing about 6 foot tall with a very slim build. Wearing nothing but what looks to be a lightly greened toga appears in front of you. His eyes are white, solid white. He has small horns coming off his head, yet no hair. He almost seems completely hairless and almost genderless. You only tell that it is a man by the general posture at this point. Your guess is as good as theirs. The creature in front of you, the man in front of you, looks at you and goes, "My sister's grave is not to be disturbed. What do you wish?"
We are looking for the Sword of Saphira, and Aigana here said, or maybe implied, that there may be in your sister's grave.
The only thing
So
in
respect.
there is an item of great power and great danger. If I give this to you, you will have to use it at the chosen time, and it will kill your entire party.
dear God. Okay.
It will restart the world with no gods, no mortals, and the world will once again be open for crafting. You will not survive, nor will anybody else. But this item could be of great value to you, should you find yourself in the most dire of needs.
Just want to put it out there. We're not giving this to Zilpip.
I want to point out there, I don't think we want anyone to have this. We're kind of team pro save the
Zilpip
world.
wants no gods, and that deletes all gods. I'm
Yeah.
not giving this to Zilpip.
Well, they would kill him too. But
I don't know if he cares. I don't know Zilpip.
I mean, it does seem to be a very powerful item, although we've been working to not reset the world.
Then I give you
there
this
any-
advice. Instead of opening this casket, I recommend kill the cleric, not the warrior.
Huh?
Do this, and you shall achieve what you wish. Fail to do this, or kill the warrior first, and you will all be killed. The bloody rage of a cleric is more dangerous than any warrior I've ever met. Also,
What?
he turns and points at Kurgan. That one is related to the one you wish to kill. That one is the one that is both the most dangerous and the most valued. I wish you luck, stranger. And as soon as he says that, the room goes back. The time seems to go back to normal as Freya and Eingana seem to be talking, and the casket stays sealed.
Man, out of character, I don't want to ruin. I'm just trying to help the party, man. Come on.
Haha,
I'm
you're a
gonna try and
weapon.
convince Aegon to
Also-
come with us.
What I want to point out, warrior and cleric are very vague. I think I know who refers to, but
Time to slaughter
Thanks.
Kips, everybody.
It's totally dead.
Yeah.
is that the cleric, or is there
Alright,
another
okay,
cleric?
Running. Bye. See you guys later. Into the lab.
Kip,
Bye.
Come here.
Yeah, and Anton just kind of goes, I guess that didn't work.
I
Yeah.
believe
Walks-
Aegon
walks away.
says that it's not here, but Aegon,
So,
would you like to leave this place?
No, I'm comfortable. Down here, those doors, when sealed, keep me from having to worry about what is going on up there. And to be honest, you mortals are a fickle bunch. One day you're helpful, the next you are a danger. As you can see from this army that has recently been killed, the current king doesn't very much care for the fact that I reside in his personal territories, as he calls it.
Do you mind if I came back here if I survived the Aegon?
You are always welcome. I always welcome strangers that come in peace. Just note that if those doors do not open for you, you are not you will not be able to rejoin me.
I can set
Very well.
up camp outside till some idiot tries to open it.
She laughs at that. Now, is there anything else you would have of me?
would you know of any other weapons like the Sword of Saphira that could be of use?
Do you wish to know what the Sword of Saphira actually is, young queen?
If you could tell me, I would.
She smiles and starts to giggle. My sister, as you may know, married towards the king of creation. He created what is the land of judgment. She made a sword that would free all souls from judgment. The sword resides there, at the cross for the scales. In fact, if you wish to make it clearly, the one holding the scales is the sword.
Hmm.
Yeah, and when you get a chance that you'd probably have to die again. Or I would.
Be nice if my cousin could have grabbed that when she first perished, but hindsight.
Did you not see the
and all.
fucking line there?
No, I don't really recall much of my death.
I remember a
being
little bit of the
revived.
line there, and goddamn, I got a ticket that said 2 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The gods have
Would
been
there
slow.
be a way to perhaps shortcut that line that you're aware of?
Nope. But you do already have a weapon that can kill gods on you. In fact, the only thing that you need is for this one to awaken it. As she points to Kips.
Wake your ass up, Kips. Get the move on. We gotta use you for stopping the world from ending.
A
Come on.
non-warrior using a
What?
sword.
Why do you want me to use the sword? I
That's
can't
it.
use
You're
a
not allowed
sword.
back in your lab till I train your ass how to use a sword.
What?
If the sword just allows you to wield it, you might be key in saving the world, Kips. I don't know where you all stand on this side when it comes to the world, Kips, but I assume as a doctor you don't want it reset and everyone killed.
You know, that's generally a pretty decent thing.
Then you might
But-
have to learn how to use it.
Also, would you mind if we rifled through the body's pockets?
I would. It is
Okay.
not kind to disturb the dead, especially when you have a cleric who serves the god of death. That can tend to irritate.
Yes. I don't think we should
Oh, only
stay
have
longer than we need to. If the sword's not here, our quest has been fruitless. But we thank you for your help and hospitality.
The problem also, I will warn, your friend has left a gift for your sword wielder. And she just kind of smiles at Kips.
Kips, you're
Our
more
friend?
trouble than you're worth sometimes.
That's Kip's response.
Okay.
Well, then we will
Then-
take our leave.
Allow me to respond in the same language.
I will let you know this tidbit as a favor in passing. And she kind of shoves walks up to Kurgan. Kurgan, I'm dragging you into, for a second. Welcome, Kurgan.
Hi.
She whispers in your ear and goes, "You do know, your family descends from the High King." And she just
not
looks
really,
at you
I'm
and
gonna be honest.
smiles and then turns and walks back to her seat. Alright.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. When
Alright.
Even though
as,
I have
Yeah,
a good
that's,
alignment,
as
I don't think
Aingana
it'll
kinda
allow.
looks-
that's what I thought.
as
yeah, that's what I
Aingana
thought.
walks up to Kurgan, whispers something in his ear, and then walks back to her seat, she goes,
I'm gonna keep that one to myself.
"You
Yeah.
all are
Wow.
excused if you would. And good Anton, good luck."
He just nods towards her. Thank you.
Well, I guess I gotta find magic weapons elsewhere to feed to the sword.
You hear it you hear the sword grumble at you.
Oh, shush, we'll get you lunch.
Let us take our leave then, group. We have the Tabaxi lands and Dragon's Gate to worry about now. Kurgan, you still want to get to that item of yours, I presume?
It would help me quite a bit, but if you have more important things to do, I can push it off, but now is the best time.
Well, your item, if it helps you take down Tenem, is the important thing for me.
It absolutely would.
Then let us take our leave. She kind of like bows lightly to Ngana and walks back towards where they came from, I guess, just over the bodies.
Yeah,
Maria gives a respectful bow and will leave as well, following.
I don't know if DM can hear you guys. He went to the bathroom.
He went to
Yeah,
the
I
bathroom,
just
so
realized
we're probably gonna have
that.
to repeat that, but...
So, Kurgan.
No.
Hey,
No,
buddy.
Air it.
You didn't even tell me the goal thing. You said you would.
Oh, right. I'll probably die if I tell you, but yeah, goal. How do I put this? Not the race he quite says he is. Is divine. Is absolutely divine. Yeah.
I had a feeling
Not literal,
he
not
might.
people. Yeah.
I had a feeling he wasn't tiefling. I wasn't sure if he was a god or a demon or if he was
Oh,
just
he's
whatever.
your people's god.
He's my what?
He's your people's god.
That's
He is
fun.
the literal god of the tieflings.
Yeah.
Nothing like the god of tieflings being my dumb himbo
For
husband.
some reason,
That's
he didn't
great.
want you to know, because when I was about to tell you earlier, he gave me a death stare.
Which is weird. You know that's weird because Tikva is a divine blood sorcerer, which means she's related to her people's god in a way. Which is really
Mike was
Alright.
bad.
So
Um,
all I'm hearing is you sort of went back to screwing a distant relative.
yes.
Not my choice, though. You know, DM decided that before I even played Tikva. Anyway,
Okay.
so Royce,
Yes.
basically Tikva gave Ngana a bow and
Mhm, I heard.
went back towards where she was. And, okay,
Freya
yeah,
did
Freya
the same.
followed.
Alright.
I don't know what the rest of the
Give
group
bow.
did.
As the party heads away, where would you like to go from here?
Well,
The thick of
there's
it.
no reason to stay here anymore.
No, it doesn't seem the dwarves or half-dwarves will join us. We can get more allies, but right now we have to worry about Tenem, at least delaying his armies, or killing them himself, is more important than attempting to get allies that may not succeed. I also, Anton, would like if you'd be able to research into this plane of judgment. I mean, I died, but I don't really have much to go off of. But my cousin seemed adamant we got this sword. This sword, and she'll put like air quotes as she says it. Anyway.
Yeah, if we can find a library somewhere, I can do that, or have
Flame
time to
shift though would
research it.
probably be the best.
Does Tickfa
choice.
know if Dragon's Gate has a good library, perhaps,
I
maybe?
mean, it's well known Dragon's Gate has a massive library.
Yeah.
The previous king collected books from all ages, and there's, in fact, a very well known librarian and researcher there of ancient history.
Anton, there should be a grand library in Dragon's Gate. When Kurgan's sneaking in, we can attempt to go there again. I might generate a lot of interest, having been an ally and now enemy of Tenem, but you might not.
I'm gonna scratch my beard. Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna hand Anton the journal, the Dark Sages journal.
Okay.
Oh,
This might help you.
well
Okay.
then.
He
It
ta-
just
he takes
casually
it.
has a lore item.
No, it's not quite a lore. It's a book that when you push it onto another book, in 10 minutes it'll copy all the information in it.
Oh, that's good.
It's like a
That's good.
copying journal. So
Why do
Yeah.
you have that? What are you, a nerd?
I chose this as one of my items. I
What are
wanted
you,
this.
a nerd?
Well, I was
Kurgan,
gonna
are you a
use the-
nerd?
I was gonna use it to copy it on orders and send to people, but I haven't needed that. So
What was it called?
the Dark Sages
Dark
journal.
Pages.
There it is.
I'll temporarily remove that from my items.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess we're gonna have. Wait, was the teleportation circle in Dragon's Gate just like inside the city?
You are
Did it-
not familiar enough. The only person who would know would be Anton.
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking, Anton.
She's asking Anton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I remember you saying it was
Mhm.
below the city, like
Mhm.
in catacombs or something like that, or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah,
If-
it's below the city in catacombs.
If possible, I'd like to visit the Tabaxi first, just to check in on my ally. But if we are in a big rush, or if you really need that item, Kurgan, we could perhaps try to go to Dragon's Gate. But we probably have more guaranteed safety at the Tabaxi lands, assuming they're not destroyed or anything.
If you go to the Tabaxi first, and then make a fake attack on the city, I can send a letter to Tenem, and maybe he'll pull his forces back to defend the city, buying us more time.
I know the Tabaxi were, at least at one point, more tribal. They might be able to give us a small force to siege a fake attack with.
You don't even need to
I-
siege killing random guards outside the city, and that's enough reason for him to pull back.
Yes, or I know there was something about exploding rat technology. The last time my cousin visited the Tabaxi lands, they might have something like that that could be used to attack the outposts and the guards, as you said. Or maybe Kips would have some of these on hand. She looks
A
at
little
Kips.
Kips. That sounds like a Kips thing to do.
I am.
I would hope not activated, but perhaps you could make some.
Okay.
Kips.
Kips.
Monkey.
I'll take that as
Solid maybe.
yeah.
Monkey. That is my response.
Okay, Oogway, got it.
Perhaps.
Okay, we're gonna move on then.
All right. As you watch as Kips's intelligence is lowered to 5.
So it's back to what it should be.
What would you like to do? You're still standing in the
Forgot the negative.
this city. I mean, Angana is kind of just watching you lot as you're
The
discussing.
Tabaxi lands. Yes.
Yes, teleportation circle there, I do believe, is what the plan was.
Sure.
Okay.
Tabaxi lands then. And yeah,
Unless you wanted to stop by the Lord houses.
yeah, these kind
I'd
of
prefer
spots
to.
that we're going to that
But I don't want
Like-
to upset.
Go ahead.
that we didn't necessarily teleport ourselves to.
Mm-hmm.
Anton has been like picking up a rock or something and like tying a note around it.
Okay.
Because it's having an item from a location helps with the actual teleport spell
That
in
would
case
work.
we ever want to come back.
Okay. Someone's playing with carbonated water. Yeah. All right, Anton. So as you sit down to begin get ritual casting, I assume teleport.
Let's see. It is a regular cast.
Oh, okay. So as you
But it takes a minute. So
as you all start to gather around, and you hear the cackling off in the distance as the one of the bridges collapses into the lava or the magma. You find yourself teleporting, and as soon as you do, you find yourself standing in the middle of a very large library, with Tabaxi walking all about. Anton, give me a perception check real quick.
okay,
Where's the nearest magical weapon?
not that well.
Let's see.
Or 11.
All right, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Can I use?
Is this a magical spell?
No, technically.
Can I block it with my shield for him?
No.
Oh, and I might have something for this. Hold
Uh,
on.
as you all suddenly teleport, you find yourselves standing in the middle of this library. The librarian kind of looking up in awe as this very old-looking, very small Fellis. Most of you, having not ever seen a Fellis, this looks like a small, like, jungle cat. Not more than about 3 feet tall, fluffy, long tail. Small little stripes, and he or she, from what you can't tell, seems to be looking at you in confusion. As each of you are looking around, you also all notice Anton suddenly has a paw print right on his face.
Nice.
You already getting handsy with the locals, Anton?
Seems this happens when you come here.
And you see a little larger of a Fellis, about 3 feet tall. Let me just pull the character sheet up. As I already have this prepared. Let me see if I have this in my note.
If it's Dibus, I'm attacking outside.
I mean, I'd follow you into that fight.
About a 3 foot tall looking Fellis with God damn it.
You say black fur and red eyes, I swear, Roy.
Stabby, stabby. Stab, stab, stab.
It is a red-furred looking Fellis with green eyes, actually. Thank you. Wearing
Killed
Insight.
wearing a small,
Got an illusion.
wearing a monkish-like outfit. God damn it! You got me laughing like crazy here.
Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, red fur with green eyes, and a goldish crown of sorts with little crystals going on it. As the eyes kind of flick to a blue, holding a small staff with a little golden ball at the end of it. The Fellis looks up at you and goes, "Ah, well, I thought you were someone else. I apologize. Allow me to introduce myself. I am King Dibus Jr."
You have
Small cat is king.
probably met
I'm confused.
my father previously, Cyrus Galadron. Myself, I am Anton.
He looks at you and he smiles and snaps his fingers as the paw print disappears. Yes, you share a similar magical smell. I apologize. You spooked me a little bit. I'm not used to people teleporting right next to me, unfortunately. That's what I guess you get for having a teleportation circle stuck to you by your father.
Dicko did start with,
Yes.
hello, King Dibus. Just the fellas I wish to talk to.
Uh,
Sorry for the intrusion.
He looks up at Tikva and goes, "Huh, you're back. I was told you were dead."
Yes, I was, but I seem to be alive now.
She
And
was
the
dead, but
new
she got better.
queen, after my cousin's sad, sad death. We kind of are a bit short on time, and I fear also perhaps your kingdom's safety is tied to that same timer. So if you are free to speak, now would be a wonderful time. And
Sure. I do have a scientist who's been looking to meet with your friend Kips here, though. We managed to gather his intelligence, if you will, and he's been looking to re-meet with his protege that he took on. Good Kips. Would you be interested in meeting with your old master?
Wait, what? Why?
Yes. And he snaps his his fingers as the guards, or two rather large fellas, almost looking like giant tigers, come walking up, pick Kibbs up, and start walking him out the room.
I thought we left him to die when he fell off the airship.
Big death.
I'm going to follow Kips. The bromance must go on.
Okay.
Freya's just staying where she is. She's definitely looking around though, like there are a lot of cats here.
Also,
Odd.
Divis
Furry City,
Jr.,
Furry City.
would you mind if perhaps my friend or even me after our conversation would be able to browse your library here? It might contain information imperative to our current quest.
Sure. He looks at you and goes, "Yeah, sure. That's of no issue. It is a public library. I share all knowledge I've gathered." As he starts to kind of walk you into what is a smaller room with a rather large table that kind of barely manages to fit in this room. As he closes two doors behind you all, as you begin to sit down, that are very
a nice
thin.
table. My weakness, a nice table.
Well, I thought you went with Kips.
As
He did. That's what
as
he
he
said.
sits down to speak with you, he goes, yes, how may I be of assistance to you, my great ally?
Well, I'm not sure if you heard or if Gaul, before his fall, managed to get the word out, but Tenem is sending his troops to the Tiefling lands and the colonies, notably, I heard.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Seems he has taken all his forces out of Dragon's Gate, which is a bold move, and I am worried for the safety of the colonies and you. You are our ally, and of course you are closest to Tenem and Dragon's Gate, and I'm not sure if you've seen this army, if this is a lie to draw us to him, or what the current state is. I'm not sure if you have any news on that.
None that I know of. I've committed my troops already to the battlefield under Gaul's service. My father is leading them. That is all I know of.
Yes, I figured that much had happened, but it seems strange. If he's not making his troops travel by land, they must be traveling by sea, which is concerning.
He
If
was
the
an
mainland's in
inventor.
danger, but... Correct. We might have to change our plans then. But I was also wondering if we needed a small troop of men, probably not even more than 20, to distract, let's say, an undefended Dragon's Gate in order to gain a key item in defeating Tenem and his troops. Would you be willing to part or have the means to part with that amount of men? We really only need to provide a distraction while an ally who you saw moments ago, the dwarf, to get an item. He thinks perhaps he can challenge his Tenem's honor to a one-on-one duel, and if he, of course, disagrees, he might be able to turn the dwarves on him, which, of course, would be in our favor.
Well, I can tell you that I have no such force at this time, as I would be leaving myself and my city unguarded. But I will let you know this, as many of your friends may be familiar, and you may remember a young elvish woman that your sister may have, or your cousin may have mentioned, a spy working for me, a elven woman by the name of Luvia, with her newly acquainted husband, but a young dwarvish lad wearing a stone armor. Amazing that. Literally carved it from stone from what I saw. He is currently
Oh my god.
there in Dragon's Gate.
I do believe I recall my cousin traveling with a dwarf. His name, I don't think I recall. After all, my early memories after being revived are a bit hazy, but yes, if you could connect us to them, that would be wonderful.
Yes, I can have you in a message or in a call with them by end of day. Let me acquaint my wizard and Kips's master with him, and then I will summon him to court to serve you for the time being, as he smells. But
Thank
in
you
the
so
meantime,
much.
feel free to peruse. Good Anton, I again apologize for almost cursing you. I did not realize that you were not your father, as I was given strict orders by my own father.
Yes.
No problem.
How is your father?
Oh, he's killed many a man. One very much in the form of glory. Created an exploding rat musket, as we're calling it. It shoots muskrats. It's a very interesting concept.
Oh, well, if once you finish with these, please tell me if you'd be willing to sell any to the Tiefling lads.
I will consider it. But for the now, I will leave you as I summon my court to make sure that everything is taken care of.
Yes.
All right, and we will take a moment to jump away from you lot. Kips and Kurgan, as you two are being, Kips being escorted, Kurgan following along. Eventually, Kips, you are dragged outside of the library into the city. After about 20 or 30 minutes of being dragged away by two very bulky tabaxi, you find yourself dragged into a small wooden shack with a couple of beakers here and there, and a magic circle on the ground as you see a half-zombified, missing-eyed, patchy-furred looking green tabaxi, who looks at you and smiles and goes, "Good sir, you're back.
No.
I have been looking forward to having you. Did I tell you I have found a new way to make rats explode?"
Why?
I mean, we need that. No, yeah. That's fair.
Who's your little dwarven friend? Is he a new test subject?
He is not a new test subject. I have plenty of other test subjects. What
Would you
I
care
have
for
plenty
some
of-
peanut butter, good friend?
Is it explosive?
Explosively delicious.
Does it have rats in it?
No rats in. You can't make a good peanut butter with rats in it.
Okay, what's up with your peanut butter?
It's the same peanut butter I feed my rats. It's just something that we eat. As he takes a dollop into his own mouth.
You should give it to my friend here.
I'm
he
willing
likes-
to give it a shot.
Good dwarven boy, come here. And he just
Okay.
grabs you and shoves a spoonful of the stuff into your mouth.
I'll eat it. Yeah.
All right, give me a
Come on,
Constitution
die.
saving throw.
I'm good. I have advantage on these.
This
I
is-
don't really need it. That's a 25. I'm okay.
As soon as you swallow, Kurgan, you feel your stomach implode slightly, and then you burp up a little bit of smoke.
Huh. Interesting.
And the man goes, he grabs his little journal and starts writing down, drawing Kurgan and drawing the effect and writing some notes. Good Kips, good Kips. Oh, yes, good Kips, as he starts petting Kips's head.
Please don't pet me.
No, as he starts patting your head. You're fine. Don't. I have discovered how to make copper meteors from rats. Would you like to see?
Yes.
Wait a second, he already did that!
As he shoves a rat into Kips's hands.
Kurgan is interested. Let's see what you got.
Good Kips. Go play.
Do I just throw this?
Well, I would not eat it. Although you could, I will be happy to write down what happens. You may not, but I'll be fine.
I'm just gonna throw the rat, I guess.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Probably should have let me do that. Kurgan goes,
That's a 4.
Oh, no.
It goes 5 feet, drops to the ground. The rat looks up at you and just kind of scurries away. And the man goes, No, that one. Oh no. Oh, my pay docked. Oh no.
I'm gonna try and chase it. Here we go. I'm gonna become giant.
You're...
Actually, how big is, before I do that, how big is this room?
This is about a 6-foot-high wooden shack.
Oh, yeah, no, not becoming huge. No, not doing that. No.
He goes,
Bad idea.
oh.
I'm chasing it. Here we go. Do you
Okay.
need it alive?
Well, if you kill it, it'll turn into a massive volcano that'll start erupting.
I'm not gonna
How
kill
massive is
it.
massive?
After it.
Maybe 4 to 5. Yeah. As you can.
Yeah. Well, why is it that you always seem to turn rats into the most lethal weapons?
Hold on. I want to try animal handling. I'm not very good at it, but I have advantage.
Okay. How are you going to try and handle this animal?
Okay. Do I have cheese? It's the real question.
Feed him some peanut butter.
Cheese isn't actually
Yeah,
good
peanut
for
butter.
rats, by the
Hand
way.
me some of the
Nope.
peanut butter. I've got this.
It is not.
I'm gonna grab some of the peanut butter. I'll offer that to the rat.
Man, okay, but good luck.
I'm not gonna feed it to it. I just need to get close enough that I can grab it.
All right, give me an animal handling check.
I'm gonna hope that I get a decent roll. That's a 14, but I can try one more time. 14 is the better check.
Okay, so as you grabbing the jar of peanut butter and taking it outside, the rat seems to come up towards you. As you go to grab it, it seems to willingly let you.
Okay, that's good.
And this is this is a small black rat, as it just doesn't seem to do anything else but sit in your
I
hands.
just want to pet it as I hand it back to the cat.
The tabaxi goes, good. And then he takes his hammer and smashes it on the table, smashing the rat completely. Doesn't do anything. He goes, unfortunate. Back to writing. And he continues writing down things. Did you need something, young Kips?
Knife?
As he starts petting Kips's head again with rat blood on his hand.
On his hammer, I want to put 2 runes.
Well, he's not looking at his hammer now. He's currently stroking Kips's head.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now's the time to mess with the hammer. It's fine. I'm gonna make it stronger.
Okay.
Why do you do this to the rats?
You haven't heard of the Rat King. He killed my adventuring party long ago. Long ago.
Is that why? Are you up for revenge? Is that why?
All rats must die.
Oh, yes, must I?
You know, you're starting to look furrier than usual. Would you be willing to try something for me?
No.
You sure?
What is it?
He gives
I
you
like this guy.
gives you a little ball that seems to be rather heavy and crystal-like as you feel it. It's almost a see-through blue. He goes, use this when in danger.
Interesting. Okay.
I call it rat ball.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
It's like a Pokeball, but it explodes.
So, how are you doing here? This doesn't look like that wonderful of a lab, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, no. This is not my lab.
What is this?
This shack where I drag you along to show explosive rats.
This is the explosive rat lab.
Would you like to see my lab?
I'd love to see your lab.
He suddenly opens a door that appears in front of him and walks in, and there you see Rowan Eros working as he electrocutes one of the hands from your experiments, Kips.
Wait a second, you've been using my lab?
Yes. Multiple times. Did you not notice the little rats running around?
No.
Oh, unfortunate.
The
As
rest of us did.
As you see a bunch of gears and some stuff lying on the side that just he ignores it and walks over to a portion where there's a normal stone tile on the ground and just kind of taps it twice. It opens up and then he walks down it into a tunnel beneath it. And there you see a large room of strange metal contraptions with rats in different jars and different fluids. Some that are being walking mazes, some are being put on little tracks to run. One is trying to lift a rather large piece of stone up and down constantly.
You've been using my lab to modify these rats, and you didn't even inform and/or ask me.
Yes.
How did you even get in my lab?
Easy. And he goes up to you and pets your head, grabbing out something as you feel a slight twinge as something pulls off your head. And you see a piece of bone. It has an engraving on it. He goes, tracking spell. Very easy, very useful. I've known all about you this entire time. As he continues to kind of slightly twitch.
He needs to lay off the coffee.
He's
Have
delivering
you,
rats.
have you been stealing my hidden stash of cocaine?
No. Adverse effect of death, unfortunately. I fell off building.
Wait, are you undead?
Yes and no. More alive than your queen, less alive than, say, you. For now.
What?
Would you like to see my new rats?
Would you like me to resurrect you?
I have new rats, and he just grabs you by the ear and starts
He only
pulling you.
cares about the rats.
Would you like me to resurrect you?
Rats, and he pulls you over to a room where you see two Goliath bodies with rat heads stapled on, and as they're literally just punching each other as they're stuck.
Wait. I need clarification. Are we talking like normal-sized rat heads or
Yes.
Goliath bodies?
And as you look at them, you
Amazing.
notice they're only torsos and arms. Their legs have been cut off, and they are stuck to to the ground, almost as if they were melded to it.
Oh my god, they're like the fighting robots. The toy.
It's the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
It's
edition.
experiment. I test Goliath body with rat. I call it Grat.
Can I buy? Can I have some of those crats?
No,
Those legs?
no. Those are experimental.
Might we have some exploding rats to attack a city?
Yes. And he goes and reaches into this cage and starts throwing them at Kurgan.
Oh god, okay. I'm doing
He
the
is going to
small one.
roll an athletics check. I'm just going to use Dibus's character sheet since I don't have a pre-made character sheet for this. Alright, luckily he manages to toss them and perfectly to Kurgan. Kurgan, give me some athletics checks to see how... give me an athletics check to see if you can catch them.
Does it have to be athletics?
Sorry?
Can it be acrobatics or does it have to be athletics?
I'll take either.
I'm slightly better at acrobatics.
Not in my lab.
That's 20.
Alright, as you manage to catch the rats, comfortably tossing them straight into a little bag, or into your bag, the rats
Excellent.
to willingly go. And goes, yes, rats explode. New effects, like bags of chocolate or cards that I found. Your scaly friend has the rest of the cards, unfortunately. One rat will explode and cause great fortune. One rat causes death. Many rats cause death. Yes.
So do I just release them and they'll explode randomly, or
No, must die.
okay, I can do that.
AKA poison them first.
Yeah, poison them so that I
Allow me to
eventually
show
know
you as he takes his hammer out and slams as one explodes into the entire room, causing everyone to get black smoke on their face. And he goes, see?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Alright, I can make this work.
Good.
You feel a little froggy hand on your shoulder. Typically, it's not okay to paint in your face.
By the way, he holds up Goosehead. He goes, I found your problem.
It's not a rat.
And he takes out what looks to be a small knife and some rope and goes and starts sewing it onto the remaining of the rat's body. He goes, problem solved soon.
It's a roost. It's a rat goose.
Wait, did you just
It's a
put?
groove.
Did you
It's a
just?
grat.
Did you just put
Yes.
Hyonk's head
Yes.
On a rat.
on the rat body?
And as soon as he finishes sewing, he seems to say something quietly, and suddenly the Hyonk comes to life and starts looking at all of you and starts Hyonking. He goes, see? I did. And
But he was
added
supposed to go.
effect, explosion.
What? No, he was supposed to go in the body.
Would you like to see?
No.
Yes. And he goes to pull up his hammer.
Nope.
Grabbing his hand, Kips, it's not really that difficult as this man's not very strong. It seems to stop him. He goes, oh, fine. And he goes back to rubbing Kips's head.
I'm gonna undo the stitches on Hyonk.
Okay, as you start to cut him, the magic deactivates and the head comes off cleanly.
Okay, and then I'm gonna try and put it back on to the Goliath body.
You're gonna have to go back upstairs to do that.
How far?
It's
Yeah,
just
okay,
you
I'll
go
do
up the
that.
ladder.
Come,
Okay.
come with me, Ratman.
If
Come
I
on,
use
Ratman.
runes to strengthen the rat's body,
Come on, Ratman.
Forgot name, I see. What happened to Time Wizard you travel with?
He.
We should take him to a brothel. I have rats for that.
They're the breeding rats.
Gibbs leaves the call. Oh man. He looks and goes, yes. You need help. Me assist. Big war, lots of explosions. Body's mine.
yes,
Body's mine.
body's ours.
As he continues to pet Kip's head vigorously.
Please stop touching me.
Good. Explosions? Yes.
He's like a Skaven.
He just
I like
kind of gives
this.
a wry smile as you notice all of his teeth are gone. When you look as you look at his smile, you actually notice he's got a couple of what look to be rat teeth stapled into his mouth. And he goes, Good. Meet, friend. See you there. And he snaps his fingers as you find yourself back in his old lab, or in the wooden building, and he suddenly is teleported gone. And you now just stand in an empty lab with Kurgan.
Where are the rats?
There are no rats in this wooden shack, as you can see.
Except for
Except
the ones
for
in
the
my
ones
bag
in
now.
Kurgan's bag.
Yep.
Yeah, my rats. Mine.
Which are basically the rats of many things now.
Good. I'm going to release them on the city. It's okay.
One dwarf gets magical weaponry.
I mean,
Alright.
that's fine. As far as they know, they're just random rats. It's okay.
Ratman is back.
Alright, Kips. As you're standing around, you see the guards are now waiting for you and just kind of look at you, look into the room and goes, Dr. Kips, I think you're needed at the court.
Might I come with him as a bodyguard of sorts?
That's fine as far as we're considered. King Dibus as well as your queen have summoned you lot.
Very well.
Your
Your teacher is already there, good Dr. Kips.
He's not my teacher.
And they just start
He's the
walking.
best teacher. So.
He didn't teach me anything, and I didn't ask for
He
it.
taught
He
you.
taught you plenty about rats.
Yeah. He
He
taught you enough
taught me
about
not
rats.
to pick up random hobos from the street.
As you lot eventually head over there, Tikva and Anton, as well as Freya, what books are you looking for while Kips and Kurgan are heading in that direction? You do hear a loud explosion off in the distance, but...
Basically, any of the books I can get regarding the plane of judgment, anything that would have to do with, I guess, different planes. I forget the name of the god that rules that place.
It's unfortunate
but
for
him?
you, isn't it?
Yeah, I know isn't it like the guy who controls the domain of Moors or some crap like that? I think Zayed found out in character. I don't know if Tikva has.
Alright,
With
so
her
you're looking
studies.
at anything on the realm of judgment. Alright.
Yep. Any like legends with that or
me
lore,
an
or just
investigation
stuff about
check.
the Sword of Severa itself. All right. Let's see. Do I get anything with investigation? I don't think I get a really cool bonus, but we'll see. I think it was just Arcana checks. Yep, it was just
Okay,
Arcana. I don't have anything for.
Alright.
You said investigation, correct?
Yep.
All right. I got a 20 non-natural.
You find no books on anything called the realm of judgment.
Can I look for
Or
domain-
the Sword of Saphira.
of Moors? I think
Sure.
that's also what death is called. At least in the Tiefling lands, I know like the domain of death's referred to that, so it might just be a more updated term.
Go
So
ahead.
I guess you'll look for stuff on that.
Give me another investigation check.
All right. Oh, that's a 10. A.
You find there's something on a book on the Domain of Moors. It is the Domain of Death. It
Alright.
is
Children's
basically where supposedly Hemescus was and was in charge of,
Hemescus.
but
That's it.
otherwise nothing else.
I'll read that
Came
one
along
then.
and decided to kill them.
I assume Anton's also looking, so he'll probably
Anton.
find more than I will.
What are
Yeah,
you looking
he-
for?
He's gonna look for basically the same things.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
May want to add plane hopping onto that.
Not a problem.
I don't want to plane hop or plane skate.
You find nothing on a Realm of Judgment. You do find a
Okay.
book on the Domain of Order. As
Okay.
you crack it open, hey, you find something about a giant scale that judges people on which direction they go, up or down.
Perfect.
You realize that if you read the DM's lore and actually remember some of this stuff, you'll suddenly be of very good use in these games.
I don't want to metagame it. If my character doesn't know, she doesn't know, man.
It's a good excuse not to have to read 1,000 pages.
Listen, if you're saying she knows, I'll go and read it.
As you read through it, the Domain of Order apparently is both a prison as well as a place of judgment for mortal souls. It is a long line, which at the end, the god Nyx River Song judges you for your good and bad deeds, weighing it on the scale of judgment. Basically, this scale was made supposedly by Tanaruk using his horn and some other items of note that you kind of skimp over after a while. And the only way to go there, supposedly, is to die.
Has anyone made it back?
Nope. No mention of that.
I'm ready to take one for the team. No, not really.
If only I could interview my cousin who died and came back to life, but she's
You just
kidnapped.
gotta go meet her, yeah. What
No,
else?
Jill, she says I need the sword, so.
What else are you looking for, Anton?
Finding that info, probably hit the arcane
Don't forget
section to
to
see
use
if
the
there's a
journal.
way to plane shift there. Yeah, while he's reading that last book, he will use the journal to make a copy of it.
All right, give me a moment. Here is what you gain specifically for you to note if you wish. Secondly, as far as a plane shift, give me another investigation check.
Yeah, because he knows the spell, but if there's only the no known way to get there, that maybe a plane shift will work. And could I do Arcana instead, or just finding it, or finding the book
You're
right
just
now?
finding a book on it. You're not.
Okay,
The book wouldn't be
perfect.
magical.
Nope.
You hope.
Ouch. You find a book on plane shifting. It explains the kind of magic to how plane shifting works. It lists the realms that have successfully been, and it lists the fact that there's only been one person that has ever managed to plane shift without repercussions. Well, two cases rather. One was when the High King sent the High Queen to the realm of elements, which should have killed her. And the second is by a man named Zelm, who plane shifts all
Oh. Him. Zaya knows
that's a
him.
good tavern.
Zaya knows him.
But
Tikva
there's
doesn't.
no known information of any way going to the Domain of Order before.
And that's, I think, all that he'd have to look for.
Okay. All right.
Any luck there,
Freya,
Anton?
Before we get to
Oh.
No.
I guess first looking up for anything related to Northrend, how to wake it up, because it seems to be very grumpy and sassy. And other things similar to weapons, as well as maybe looking for anything that might lead to a schematic of, say, a grenade or rifle, because tinkering, I can tinker.
Okay. Give me an
Northrend isn't sassy,
give me
they just want your magic.
2 investigation checks.
Alright, first one is 24.
Okay.
Second one is 21.
Okay. So as you go looking around, assuming the 24 for Northrend, you do eventually find a book in the arcane items section labeled The Story of Northrend. It is a book made of a white leather that seems to be a little colder to the touch. And as you go to grab it, you suddenly hear, "Ugh," and then the sword immediately eats the book.
I'm trying to learn about you so I can actually make you feel better.
Now you have to pay Dibs Jr. for that book you ate.
Yeah, you want me to make it feel better? That's what the last man said to me.
I'm not a man.
Yeah, you scaly types all look the same to me.
Racism from a sword.
No, I slash everyone equally.
And I think
Some of my best friends are Dragonborn.
For your second...
However, how am I supposed to awaken you, make you more powerful, make you feel stronger, if I don't know jack shit?
I'm a difficult person. Maybe you should learn about me the old-fashioned way. Take me out to dinner. Wine and dine.
It's a tsundere sword.
I am not a cheap piece of metal you can just read about in a book and know what
It's a
things are coming.
stun deer.
It suddenly glows with a deer on it.
Okay, my darling blade. On to the next thing.
Okay.
More weapons and tinkering kind of things.
As you're walking around, you find a book, eventually written by the Rat King, as he's called himself. Literally called the True Rat King, and his tinkering expeditions. As you kind of flip through, a lot of it's most of the stuff you know already. But eventually you come to a page where it looks to be very new. In fact, as the rest of the book looks like it's been opened many a times, this portion looks to be almost freshly created or pressed in. Looking at the book, it describes a small hand cannon that lights a fuse into it that has what looks to be some logothys in it that explodes, shooting a rather large rat out of it. And the rat then explodes into shrapnel.
If there's some spare paper, I'll copy it down, and
Okay.
I may adjust the design to actually be more of a hand cannon instead of a rat cannon.
Okay.
I got 2 giant fists I can fire out at any point in time.
You hear suddenly the sword go, "Of course you want something that'll explode. All you men are the same."
1, I'm a woman. 2, I'm looking at things that maybe outfit the airship with, so that if we fly into danger like we did before, it can be useful.
Oh, yes. All you are all the same. No one ever wants the sword. You all want the explosives.
I prefer the sword, but you know what? Having something on a ship where
I
I
like
can't
swords.
get to goes to meaning that I need range. You go to 10 feet. That can go further.
Measuring contest now. I see how it is. Of course you'd be like that. I want to speak to your leader.
You're more than welcome to,
I'll
but
be
I don't
back
think
shortly.
anybody else will put up with you.
Captain.
I love you. You're an amazing sword. I want to make you better, but I also like to have this on the backhand in case I throw you on accident. Don't come back because you're mad at me.
I mean, I'm
There are
already
many
thinking about
options
doing that.
Freya doesn't
There are
understand.
many
women.
problems here. Okay? I will take you to dinner tonight.
The sword goes quiet. All right.
And with that, I will be right back.
Okay. As you're kind of chilling out, you guys begin to relax, enjoying your books here and there. Tikva, you find a little bit as you're looking about, finding a book on a minor version, or the smaller version, or lesser version of what you're looking for. That is the only notable version you've ever seen. For the rest of the party, as you lot begin to finish up, heading out eventually from the library, you see Kips and Kurgan heading in the same direction as they finally meet back up with you lot, as guards are kind of leading them, if you will, to the palace. God, man, my brain is deactivating. Coming up to the palace, you see large statues of what is obviously Divis Senior, guarding against the realm of mostly humans, as it depicts him taking down a human with only his paw. Anton, this human, looks suspiciously like Cyrus. Okay. And as you climb the very long marble stairs, eventually arriving at the courtroom, you see Divis Jr. sitting in his royal chair, the little placard above his head where a weapon used to sit empty. And you see, well, Kips and Kurgan saw him earlier, but Freya, Anton, and Tikva, you immediately recognize a very well-known rat enthusiast. As he goes, yes, my king, yes, explosions, yes. And he turns and goes, and Divis Jr. just kind of keeps quiet as he watches as the scientist walks up to Tikva and goes, Queen, yes, royalty, yes. How may I serve you?
Thank you. I was hoping to get in contact with Alluvia and that maybe even perhaps the dwarven husband of hers. We need to get to Dragon's Gate, and we could use their aid in getting into the city and perhaps also causing a bit of a distraction. We think an item there could give us an edge in defeating Tenem and his forces, or at least delaying them.
Yes,
at the very least.
I know spell. And he smiles and he just grabs Tikva's hand and starts dragging her off into his wizard tower.
Okay.
Yes. Follow, friends.
Yeah, sure.
As you lot begin to follow, he says, he brings you into this well-designed and actually well-equipped room of with beakers, spell books of all sorts, weapons of different designs, a few rat skins here and there, a very large dragon's head mounted on the wall, fully intact, that seems to kind of follow you with its eyes, even though it appears the eyes aren't moving. And he kind of, the scientist looks at you and goes, yes, hold hands.
Okay.
I'll take this and Kip's hand.
Whoever is closest, she'll just extend her hands towards.
Yeah, I'll take this hand and I'll take Kip's hand in the other.
Queen, think of elven woman.
Okay, Tikva will think of Alluvia based off the description she was given.
Yes, that's it. And he snaps his fingers, and suddenly you find yourself standing in a tavern. It's surrounded by dwarves, and Alluvia just standing there handing drinks as you are now surrounding her in a circle.
With our hands!
And that is where we will end today's session. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this.
The council will
Or
decide
the couch!